Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
All right, welcome to Pub Sports Radio, everyone. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is Loshak in the Bag show. We've been doing this forever, and now we're going to do it again. Of course, as I say, every month and every 2 weeks it seems of the year has a specific feel in the sports betting world, and we know this feel, right? We know this feel. The February stretch run of college basketball combined with the Super Bowl. We know what this feel is, right? All-star break in the NHL. An interesting feel. I tend to every year kind of screw up January. I always have kind of a crappy January and sometimes a crappy December as well. Things tend to pick up though in February. You know what I mean? February tends to be pretty good. We ride that until baseball. Baseball is usually low energy and mildly profitable, and then things pick up again in August, September, October, November, usually great. December, January, shitty. And then things pick up again in February again. Here we are in February, Jimmy the Bag. How are you feeling right now about things in general, sports betting-wise?
Oh, I'm still riding the high from Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's just...
you killed it?
Yeah, 8 for 8 with my live bets.
Whoa!
8 for 8 live betting with everybody at a hundo a pop. And the full unit bets on the under in each game, cashed both those. And then cashed the parlay of Chiefs, Eagles, moneyline parlay to cover my future bets and more. It could have been better had the Bengals won the game and not cashed the parlay and had my futures live in that regard. But it was just as good as it's ever been. Yeah. Started after watching Purdy get hurt, and I was kind of in the dumps. But good God, it was just cash all day and night, and it felt so good, especially because we have our big horse racing show this Saturday at Day at the Races, and nice to put $1,000 into that account so that there's no there. And
wow, I didn't realize you were killing it like that. Hell yeah, very, very nice. I was, you got to take some time off and take things easy once in a while. And so, yeah, I wasn't live betting those games or anything. I did wind up having a big bet on KC first half, which was great. So I'm coming off a nice day as well. Wow, a very, very nice job, Jimmy the Bag.
It was the best live betting performance of I've ever had, really.
Wow.
It felt very good. And they were such easy cashers.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I got lucky here, I got lucky there. It was just like everything. As soon as Purdy got hurt, I started betting the unders in the San Francisco Phil game. So I got under 43.5, I got under 50.5, and I got under 48.5. And I had already bet the under 46 with a full unit bet. And then so those are my only bets live in that one. And then with Cincinnati, KC, Cincinnati plus 6.5, Cincinnati plus 7.5, Cincinnati plus 9.5, and then the over 41.5 and the over 42.5, cashing the middle with my under 47. Like it was just, and it was, it felt good. We know how difficult this shit is, and
sure,
the losses hurt so badly. So it was nice to sit in the glory of just
easy cash right here. I had a big bet on Texas Tech last night, which won. Not an easy casher, to put it mildly, but I hear you. You see what happened with that game, Jimmy the Bag?
I didn't. I was.
Let me fill you in. Texas Tech was down by like 20 at the half, 20 whatever, with 8 minutes to go or whatever. Goes to overtime, they win by. Not the -1 cashes, -2 cashes, but yeah, wow, that is very, very. It's just so funny when you say they were easy cashers. Last night was was one of the toughest nights of the year that I remember in recent memory, as far as heart attack inducing cashes or losses are concerned. But wow, all right, Jimmy the Bag. So how are you feeling about NHL right now? That's what I'm curious about.
Well, I'm 63-65, which is the lowest amount of NHL action I've ever had at this point in the season. A big part of it's not hammering Tuesday's huge card with you. I'm down 1.63 units. My ROI is minus 1.27%, average line plus 104. I feel confident. I feel like I'm seeing things clearly. I'm just not getting the results at this point, and I expect the results to come.
Sure.
So I feel pretty good about it, and I'm looking forward to have these Tuesdays back with you. This is not a good example of what the Tuesdays are going to be like with a 3-game card, but I am really excited about it. I do want to give a shout out to all the cappers in the chat.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Wally in the house, the Nuke Worker, DC Capper, Clint Starley, Diehard MMA Podcast. We got Brad Sturmer, Sky Dragon, Nutflush, Alan, Lucas, Ryan, Sirius Business, Bob Taylor, Sammy Culmer, Wine Time Sports, D. Jenkins, Dan Kelly, Justin McElvey, Slatsy in the house. Slatsy says a miracle win last night on the Jets and team total. Says onsen some way. It's just impossible for me to get past how big of a favorite the Senators are, but we will get into that here. And thank you guys for asking about Carter. I see a bunch of you guys asking about Carter. Carter is, we don't know what, the only problem is we don't know what it was that caused this severe reaction, but he's almost fully recovered. The swelling's all gone, so the scabs and all that are almost gone. So thank you guys for thinking about him and caring about him. That means a ton to me. Subhuman Guacho, Jay Peasy, Leonard Porsche Jr., Lee Davis says he was at that game.
All right. Well, hope you had your heart medicated. I guess unless you didn't have a bet on it, in which case it was just exciting.
It was a magical last night, Texas Tech. There's a Nasty Nate, Rocco Rogers, D. Lee Davis says, great Sunday, Jimmy. Hopefully you're dried out now. I am dried out, and it's unfortunately, and this is, sorry, I do have very little memory of the second half of the football game. I did have to go over exactly what happened in that game the following day. Nice job, JP, to pick up 7 bills. I love seeing that. Leo said it, so you and Daryl going over NBA today. No, we have Trot Wam joining us. We are switching the order around, though. There's been a change in the order. We're going to go NHL, NCAA basketball with Daby Cab, and then we're going to close with Trot Wam and NBA. The three of us will be capping that together. You know what, Pete? I'm very thankful to be back with you, man.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Let's get to work and let's get the cash.
Although just one quick thing. Nutflush Allen asked, saying, Pete, are the notifications fixed? He's referring to Twitter notifications. No, I used to have, the people that I wanted to get notifications for all clicked on, and I would get a line of them all at the top of my page, and that disappeared. Is that just for me or for everyone? Did that disappear? I think it disappeared, right?
I have no idea.
Nutflush. I mean, I go to your page, a few minutes before the pucks drop. But I used to just get it automatically whenever I, went onto Twitter. And if you had made a post, it would be right there, the notification about it. But no, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Twitter.
Jose does have a message for you. He says if you come to Pubapalooza, he'll fix whatever you need. Whatever's going wrong with your.
All right. Okay. No, that's great. Thank you, Jose Bouquet. All right.
Billy Friedrich says, what do you think of the Nucks return on Horvat? The Vancouver fans are, they've dealt with so much pain that they're so filled with hatred and distrust. The takes I've heard from a lot of my friends, I just think they're just fucking idiots. I don't think we could have got that much more for Horvat, really, than what was got. A lot of people are angry about the conditional draft pick, saying, I would have got a legit first round. But, so I do need to study the Finnish kid, the second round pick, more. I don't, but I'm fine with it. I mean, it was 25 years ago, a week off of making the same type of trade with Trevor Linden to the Islanders, and that worked out well for the Nucks. So, it's good enough. Okay. I'm excited to be here. It's a big surprise was going to the Isles. Didn't see that coming. You were right, but you know what? If it had been 3 weeks ago, we saw it coming. Remember, I said on the show, I was like, they have the money for Patrick Kane right now if they want him. But then they go win 1 of 10 games, and it was a surprise they got him back for sure. Let's get to work, my friend. Pistol Pete Loshak, just 3 games on the NHL card, but I'm excited to be firing away with you. So. Take it away, my man. The floor
let's see what we can do. Let's start with LA and Carolina, right, Jim? This, classic NHL situation here, right? LA, definitely a team with some great life to them. They've won 13 out of the last 20. big dog year on the road, but Carolina absolutely rolling. One of those teams that even when they're playing a team, when they're at home playing a team with some life to them as a big favorite, you still don't want to bet against them. And this one, my note on this one is G's no real clue. G's no real clue, Jimmy the Bag. I mean, is a line bet at a certain point? Of course, I'd bet LA. At what point would I want to bet Carolina? I don't know. I mean, their rolling has been for real, though, right? I mean, they've won 7 out of 8. Just a stout defensive team, right?
Well, they're going to be a little less stout without Jacob Slavin. He's still dealing with the lower body injury. But look, they're rolling. Dennis Garcia thinks that they're the best team in the National Hockey League, and Dennis Garcia got I love his takes and even if they're different from mine, but he gave me the Rangers to make the playoffs about 6 weeks ago at even money. When I got to it, it was minus 110, but it was a minus 105. And I put 500, which is the max I can with my local before I have to call them and discuss it. But that was just...
Oh, look at you, Jimmy the Bag, running into limits. I love it.
But that was Dennis. That was like you talk about listening, having a colleague of yours give you because that wasn't even on my radar. I wasn't even looking at the make the playoffs, not make the playoffs. And that alone, Sky Dragon, give me that is alone going to cover all of my losses, really. On the Canucks, almost all of my losses. So on my Canucks future. So I thank you so much for that, Dennis. But the Hurricanes are the real deal. 32-9-8, 16-5-2 at home. We saw this line open up at minus 201. Right now it's minus 188, a 13-cent move towards the Kings. This total opened up at 6. There's been minus 113 to the under. There's been a 6-cent move to the over in this spot. Clearly, Phoenix Copley is the number one goaltender there. They have problems. This LA Kings team has problems, and they are a good hockey team, but they are not in any way, shape, or form, in my belief, a Stanley Cup contender. But they're a good hockey team. Copley 15-3-0, 2.82 goals against average, 901 save percentage. Here you have 5.4 mil tied up in Johnny Quick. You have 3 mil tied up in Calvin Peterson, who's playing for the Ontario Reign with no sign of coming up. And you need help. So there's talk about them getting James Reimer. They need a fill-in because their goaltending is just not good enough, and they don't have the money. They have right now. The LA Kings have $135,000 in cap room. You're not going to see this team get any better. They have 6 right-handed shooting defensemen. They need a left-hand, and Rob Blake said in the preseason, he's like, I'm going to get us a left-handed shooting defenseman. They've not done that. So they have all these guys with right-hand shots. There's a lot of problems on this hockey team, although they are a good hockey team. What is another problem with the LA Kings? Quentin Byfield. There is a lot of thought within the NHL insiders that if Tim Stützle was Canadian, he would have been picked 2nd overall in the 2020 draft. Instead, they picked Quentin Byfield, who I don't know if he's going to be there. And Stützle, I mean, we know who went out number 1 overall, Alexis Lafreniere. Stützle is the best player in that draft by far, and he could be on this Kings team. And if they had Stützle, what a monster situation they would be. And we talk, this is another page, the Kings' mistake is another page out of the Undoing Project. They kept comparing Quentin Byfield to Anze Kopitar. They kept saying, oh, he's going to be the next Kopitar. He's going to be the next Kopitar. Fuck, yeah, right. Okay. All right. You saying this 18-year-old kid's going to be the next fucking Kopitar, who's such a monster for, 10 years he's been a monster? It doesn't work like that. And when you make these comparisons, you start seeing it yourself. Quentin Byfield's never going to be the next Anze Kopitar. And I don't know if he's ever going to be a top 6 forward. Now, at 6'5", 220 pounds, you want to put energy and time into him. The Kings are without Velarde, Arthur Kaliev, and Trevor Moore due to injury. And that hasn't really stopped their special teams, even though Kaliev is probably the best sniper on this club. Kaliev looks very, very good. Trevor Moore is the guy that they know they have value if they want to trade him. And I believe he's at $3.2 million a year. So that, as I said, they have no salary cap room whatsoever. Kevin Fiala has been strong leading the team in scoring, but there's a belief that they didn't really need Kevin Fiala. What they needed was a top-flight left-handed defenseman. Now, he leads the team in scoring. Kopitar, Danault, and Arvidsson, Kempe have had good seasons. Drew Doughty's had a nice bounce-back season, 26 minutes, 10 seconds a game, 31 points in 51 games. He's a +3. But I have no concern against this Kings team. The Flames may not make the playoffs. The Flames would beat the Kings in the series. That's my belief on this Kings team. I just don't think they're that good. Then the Hurricanes coming off their 5th straight win, 4-1 at home over the league-leading Bruins on Sunday. We've been waiting. The offense has been their Achilles heel, and we thought that when Pacioretty got hurt, maybe how are they going to score? But Aho has caught fire, 7 goals over his last 4 games. 2017 first-round pick Martin Necas has been very good this year. It's a strong, deep hockey team. North Area says Canes too soft for the playoffs. I don't know. I don't think I could. I mean, Jordan Staal is the perfect playoff third-line centerman. Sebastian Aho is a pretty tough first-line centerman. Svechnikov is a tough scoring winger. I agree that they could always get more toughness, and you imagine with their coach being as tough as he is, Rod Brind'Amour, that they'll get that. Back to this situation here, the Kings have been off since Saturday. They lost 5-2 on the second half of back-to-back at Tampa, so they're fresh and ready to go. The Canes have a day less rest. The Canes are just a better hockey team than the Kings, but they don't really win by margin often, even though they just beat the Bruins. This is a Canes or no bet for me, though. And then I've heard people trying to, I've seen people online getting cute with the Kings, and I'm not a believer in this hockey team.
Yeah, that everything you said is basically what I was thinking, which is why it's a hard pass for me, I think.
And Billy Friedrich says, I disagree respectfully. Kane's not the best hockey team in hockey. Look, I disagree too. But I do think the fact that a capper at the level of a Sky Dragon thinking they're the best hockey team in the league must be noted. You really, Pete always talks about listening. If you have a colleague who you respect, who believes they're the number 1 team in the league, I think it's an important note.
Oh, yeah. He changed my mind in NFL on Washington on the commies a bit. That helped me out this NFL season. What about first period under? Maybe no.
But this is the question. There's a couple teams out west that you just can't count on game in and game out, and they're good hockey teams. The Kings and the Stars. I don't know what they're going to give you from game. And then here's Clint saying, "Do the Kings even show up today on the road before the break?"
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking like Nutflesh Al. Nutflesh Al has a great read on like teams that are checked out.
I'm surprised at this, and I did not expect. There was nothing I wanted to bet before I came on the show, but after talking it out a little bit, I like Carolina here. Now, this huge move that just happened at Pinnacle 50 minutes ago is not moved at Bet365. Bet365 is completely different. They have the Carolina Hurricanes at minus 220. So that's almost that's what, 32 cents worse than what Pinnacle's offering. And the minus 1 is expensive for the Hurricanes, but I have some interest in it. I have some interest in the Hurricanes minus 1.
And what about LA team total under? What about that?
Well, I one of my things for me, Pete, is I almost never, and I mean never, unless I'm so confident in a complete shutdown, ever take the underdog team total under.
Right.
I only take the favorite team total unders.
Right.
So if we're looking at this team total right now for the Kings, the under 2.5 minus 125 in my book. I just there's a 2-2 hockey game going into the third period is also a possibility here.
Right.
So I'm not interested. And from a total standpoint, I can't. This is a tough one. I would, if I have a free bet, I would definitely take the under 6 in this hockey game, and maybe I do take the under 6. Maybe I guess Hurricanes minus 1 in the under 6. I would say I'd like the Hurricanes minus 1 a little more, but those are both of the spots that I may move on. Sammy Comer has Canes in regulation and the Canes minus 1. Mike M has Carolina team total over in play. Carolina first period minus a half. Viper says all trends point to the over. And this is a tricky. This is a tough one to get started with.
Yeah, gosh, I think the Canes are the play. I think you guys are all right. I'm capping you all right now. You don't know it, but I am. I'm capping you all right now, all you cappers. I'm capping you. I think the Canes are the play, Jim.
I do too. But
I'm not going to make it official as of right now.
The thing is, they just beat the best team in hockey record-wise, and they beat them soundly. And now the other part of this is that it's their 5th straight win. So that they have something special going on right now going into the break, and Rod Brindamore will want them to be focused going into the break. Markel says stay away. Bob Taylor says stay off. If you guys are leaning over and saying all trends point to the over and things of that nature, I can stay off. I tell you, you guys know how important penalty killing is to me. And over the last 10 games, Kings 90.3% penalty killing, Carolina 88.6% penalty killing. And I was waiting all year for the Kings penalty killing to step up. But you have great forward group for strong penalty killing. So I think the Hurricanes -1 is a legit play that I made.
Yeah, you know what? Or LA first period. You're right about Boston. You're right about that. I'm staying off, Jim. I mean, that does matter. You get a fucking dominant home win over Boston. That matters. I'm staying off.
That is the biggest problem for me with back. The only helpful thing is it was their 5th straight win. It wasn't, so they do have something to keep going.
Or LA first period or something like that. But I'm staying off.
All right. Okay. I still think I may move on the Hurricanes -1 here. DC Capper in the house. All right. Let's roll on to game 2 here, Pete.
I'll tell you what I would do, Jim, though.
Yeah.
If it's like LA 1-0 after the first period, then maybe Carolina on a live bet would be worth it, in my opinion.
Most definitely.
All right, so let's move on to Ottawa, Carolina. Yeah, all 3 of these games, they're interesting, but I think I'm going to pass on all of them. Ottawa, Montreal, of course, is the second of a home and home. Ottawa won the first one 5-0, blew them out. Ottawa they've won 3 in a row, but not terribly impressive, those 3 wins. And before that, they had lost 6 of 8. But Montreal, I'm just not sure what to make of them. They seem pretty decimated on offense. They've lost 3 in a row. One of those is the Boston, though, so maybe you forgive them for that. Before that, though, they had been winning, half their games approximately. But, I don't know, with Caulfield out, and it just looks like they just don't have much scoring. Normally, I'd be wanting to take Montreal as a huge dog here on the second of a home and home, but I just don't know if they have the firepower. What do you think, Jim?
Well, they're just decimated
with
injuries. It's very tough. Over the next 2 games, you're going to have Montreal we'll talk about now that's decimated, and then you have Columbus that's decimated. Now they lose Edmondson to an upper body injury. He's day-to-day. The issues they have are at forward, not at D. So Edmondson being out does hurt them. But Byron, Monahan, Druin, Caulfield, Jake Evans, Slavkovsky, Armia, Gallagher, all out for the Habs. But there are some issues here. Let's take a look at the line history first off for this one. We have Ottawa opening up as a -160. Now they're -189. So maybe that -160 was available for an hour when it was dropped yesterday. 13-cent move within an hour, 13-cent move. So yeah, Ottawa is playing good hockey right now. This total at 6.5 -115 to the under. But I've truly believed fading Montreal at home this year is just a losing proposition. And if you bet them every game at home this year, your ROI would be nice and positive. Forsberg and Allen is who I have, and Slatsy saying that is confirmed. And Slatsy's right about what changes, but let's just set the table here. Forsberg 10-10-2, 3.09 goals against average, 906 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Jake Allen 10-16-2, 3.53 goals against average, 893 save percentage. Ottawa 5-5-0 over the past 10, 20% power play, 77.1% penalty killing. Montreal 4-5-1. Their power play down to 13.8%. They're just simply not going to be able to score goals with this lineup. 72.7% penalty killing. The Senators have won 3 straight, and they come off a very, very impressive back-to-back. So they play at Toronto and then at home versus Montreal, and they outscore these original 6 franchises 11-2. In the 5-0 victory over Montreal on Saturday, Giroux scored 2 goals and added an assist. Look, this is a talented hockey team. You guys know I just love Brady Tkachuk, and Giroux is playing very well right now. Stutzla is a beast. Batherson, if you don't look at the -29 plus-minus that he has, he's a good player, an offensive player. DeBrincat, they seem to have a lot going for them. Sharon says it sounds like a Montreal team total under.
Ken Mizrahi says Habs in all-out tank mode. Would you agree with that?
Well, guys like Josh Anderson and Nick Suzuki, they're just not going to tank. And they just got embarrassed 5-0. So, look, their injuries have hurt this team, and they'll be sellers at the deadline. But those 2 guys have a ton of heart, especially Anderson. So, we've talked about it often in all cross sports that it's the ownership and management can tank, but these guys on the ice aren't going to take, and they were just completely embarrassed. So that makes it so difficult for me to back Ottawa after smash and grabbing Montreal at home 5-0. Now, obviously, I'm not going to take Montreal at this price, but at minus 190, I simply can't take the Senators on the road at that number, and I won't. Now, the question is, after a 5-0 shutout loss, do we think that we'll get defense being played? I think that we will. So I think that the under 6.5 is probably the move that I make here. I just think that there's animosity created when you go in, when you face a team and they just destroy you. Now, I know that it was 3-0 going before the empty netters hit, but so I think that the under 6.5 is actually where I would go, because I expect a very, very focused Montreal Canadiens squad. So but what are we getting now? You're right about the Montreal team total, because we are dealing with a 6.5, which is much better than dealing with a 6 with these totals for a dog. So let's just see what I would get for the team total under for the Habs. Team total under right now, under 2.5 minus 105. Yeah, I kind of like it.
You think Allen is okay for an under? I mean, it looks like he gets gashed every friggin' time.
He's not great. He's not playing great, but I think the team in front of him will play with so much more heart and dedication than they did on Saturday night.
All right, I'm gonna have to pass once again. Sorry, everyone.
I think that the under 6.5 is the look here. I really do. I think after being embarrassed that the Habs have to step up here. And I'm not in the business of taking road favorites at this price. Maybe at minus 160. The minus one then would have been even money. Maybe that was the time to do it. But now even the minus one will be juiced. So Ken Mizrahi says 5-1 Ottawa. Are they really is Ottawa really going to win 3 straight games and outscore their opposition 16-3? I don't know. So I think I've talked myself into the under 6.5 in Ottawa, Montreal, and I expect to move on it. Both power plays Ottawa power play is getting better, but yeah, that'll be my move. It'll be the under 6.5 for me, Pete.
Okay. Jeez. I guess I'm just a little bit worried about Allen, but then again, not trusting Montreal's offense. So then I'm thinking, Montreal team total under 2.5 at plus money, but that's so tough. A home team that just got shut out at 2.5 on the under. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, I hear you.
It's tough. Slatsy agrees with me. But I get why Slatsy says what's going to change here. And the only thing that we know will change here is that these guys play for Marty St. Louis. And Marty St. Louis is angry. And they were just embarrassed. And so regardless of the skill set, at least I know that there is going to be intensity played by the dog. And if you're going to give me an intense dog who's doesn't want to get beaten the way they did, and they're going to play tighter defensively, and there's animosity going, I think that the 6.5 is vulnerable.
Now I'm thinking maybe first period under, but I'm going to hold off on that.
That was my initial thought.
Yeah.
My initial thought, I moved away from it. My initial thought was the first period under 1.5. You're going to get a really nice price, I would imagine, if we're dealing with 6.5. What is that under? I think if you shop around, you could get like 125 or so. 130 right here.
Yeah, 130.
That's a nice price. That's a really nice price. That might be it. It's all good, Spenny. That might be. That's probably the better risk and reward. If we're saying that the Habs are going to come out with a ton of intensity.
Right, and then their suckiness starts to show in the second period or whatever.
That might be a better look. It's certainly the risk reward is better. I'll have to make that decision after the show when I bet it.
Yeah, I'm almost certainly going to make a play on that one because I want to have one pick. I do kind of like it. All right, but let's move on, Jim. All right.
And Slatsy says, "Be careful with that. Allen's been awful in the first period all year, especially the first shot.
He's just awful in general, kind of, right? I mean, come on."
Well, let's move on to the next game here, Pete. I know that your shows have been tighter without me rolling with you. So
no, but they've also been worse. So it's like, it's a trade off, like you said. All right, Jimmy the Bag, Washington, Columbus, man. This one is just see when we're doing these shows, I got to figure out a way not to get. I have a habit of getting too cute with first periods, right? In Washington's last game against Toronto on Sunday, I told you, Jim, I was like, we love Toronto first period. Of course, Toronto lost the first period, blew them out full game, and that was so frustrating. I did not split it up. I went down to the sports book, put a huge bet on Toronto first period. That one lost. My overall capping on the game was right. Toronto rolled them. So I got to be really careful with these getting too cute first period situations that I tend to do. You know, Columbus back from a 4-game trip and actually played okay, right? A huge dog in all those games. Won a couple of them. A couple others played pretty close. And Washington, you know, coming off a bad loss, so that's not good. But in general, they've been kind of a subpar team, right? Lost 3 of 9, and now you got a huge home dog here. I was thinking about maybe Columbus just as a huge dog, or the team total over. Either of those is what I was thinking. Haven't bet them yet. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I certainly like where you're at. Initially, Columbus had a very strange road trip. You know, they had the 2 games in Alberta, and they played excellently, right? They lose the first one. They lose 4-3 in overtime at Calgary. Then they play the following night and beat Edmonton 3-2. Then they come into Vancouver, and it was a pretty poor performance. They lose 5-2, and then they lose, I think it was 3-1 in Seattle. I have this here. Yeah, it's like it's 3-1 in Seattle on Saturday. So they get outscored 8-3 in games in Vancouver and Seattle, but get 3 out of 4 points in Alberta. So we'll take a look at the line history here. This opened up with the Jackets plus 175. They're now plus 181. The total at 6.5. There's been a 3-cent move to the under in this one. And we're a nationwide arena, and Columbus just decimated in injuries. But we'll start with the goaltending. Korpisalo is starting to play pretty good. We'll see if that can continue. 8-9-2, 3.32 goals against average, 909 save percentage. Kemper has been quite good for this team that's not very good. The Capitals, 15-14-4, 2.62 goals against average, 915 save percentage, 5 shutouts. Maximilian says, I see no different in this game as when the Caps beat the Jackets 6-2 about 4 weeks ago. I do see a big difference, but let's discuss it. And for me, you guys know I took the Capitals to not make the playoffs. I think I got plus 130 on that, and I have the under 93.5 points for them. I simply do not believe in everybody not named Ovechkin. And the reason why is because Wilson's hurt. He was hurt most of at least the first half of the year, and he's such a big piece of the puzzle. And I simply do not believe in a 35-year-old Backstrom with these hip injuries that are never going to go away, and a 36-year-old TJ Oshie who seems, and I hate to say it because he's such a great sniper and he's been so good for so long, broken and done. Both teams coming off 3 losses in the last 4 games. Capitals coming off a 5-1 loss at the Leafs on Sunday. They've scored 7 goals over their last 4 games. Now we're starting to see what it's like without John Carlson. They got over it a little bit at first, but now their power play, this Washington power play with all these snipers and Ovechkin on the hash marks, is 11.5% over the last 10 games. And that's not a power play. I mean, look, Columbus has had a much better power play than the Capitals over the last 10 games. So Carl Hagelin, Tom Wilson, Nick Dowd, all out. Ovechkin is the lone Capital that seems like age hasn't caught up to him. 32 goals, 22 assists, 54 points in 51 games, and a -1. Dylan Strome and Connor Sheary have both been good. Where would this team be without those 2 guys, those depth pieces? Because, OG and Backstrom. Backstrom has 1 goal, 4 assists in 9 games. He's a -4. Jackets coming off their second straight loss, as I said, and they moved Kirill Marchenko, their 2018 second-round pick, to the first line with Boone Jenner and Johnny Hockey. And Marchenko is a sniper. But this guy, he's taking like what Victor Olofsson's numbers are to the next level. Marchenko has 13 goals in 27 games and 0 assists. 27 games in the National Hockey League, and he doesn't have an assist. So he's just thinking about sniping, and he's not using his peripheral vision whatsoever. And they moved Laine back to the second line, centered by Jack Roslovic. Roslovic, the hometown boy, he's not good enough to be a top 6 forward. 4 goals in 47 games. He's playing 17 minutes a game. He's getting power play time. And now, so Laine is going to struggle, because he's on the line with Roslovic, even though Roslovic will open up some space here for him. I don't know how anybody would want to back the Capitals at this number. The only thing they have going for them from a gambling standpoint is that they just got embarrassed in Toronto. Other than that, who would in their life would want to have anything to do with this Capitals team on the road as a big favorite.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And especially in light of, one thing I like to do when you have these big dogs is if they've also been relatively competitive in the other games they lost as a big dog. I'm going to take Columbus here one way or another, either on the money line or maybe a plus something or whatever. But I'm going to take the Jackets. They have enough on their roster to pull this one out, right? 35% of the time.
What's happening is they're starting to get more comfortable with these massive injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have Boqvist and Blankenberg right now, and this is a defense that's being hurt without Werenski and Bean. So now you basically have 4 of your top 6 defensemen from the beginning of the year out. That's awful. You have Nyquist, Chinnikov, Voracek. I guess when it comes down to it, the only reason why I think that the Jackets can take care of business here is because Boone-Jenner's back. And I don't trust I think I should just stay off of this game because the Capitals are coming off being embarrassed by the Leafs, and the Jackets, it's Jackets or no bet. But God, I wish the Capitals weren't playing as bad as they're playing.
All right, Jim. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take both the Jackets on the money line and the Ottawa-Montreal first period under. I think obviously there's strong reasons to not do that, which is why they're underdog bets. I think one of them will win, and I'll make both those official. How about that?
I like it. I'm starting to really like that under 1.5, just at the plus 130 for the risk reward, except for what Slatsy says about how bad Jake Allen is. Very early.
But you look at his home games, over the years, and over the past bunch of weeks, he has some where he's gotten gashed, but there's a bunch of first periods that went under with him at home starting. So. And I think you're right. Montreal will start off at least in the first period trying to prove something. So I'm gonna, and if it loses again, it's a plus 130 bet, right?
I don't know how I don't take the under in this game. I really don't. You're sitting here with the Capitals team that's just not scoring on the power play. They're not a 5-on-5 team that anybody has any concern with. You have the Jackets with an 85.2% penalty killing. The Capitals' penalty killing has stayed strong. You have a Blue Jackets team that's now going to be missing 4 of their top 6 defensemen, and I'm always of the idea that means less goals were scored, not more. There'll be less pinching. There'll be less outlet passes. There'll be less crisp outlet passes. So I am going to move on the under 6.5 here.
In the Jackets game, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like that one too.
So that is going to be my plan. So my plan will be this. So I know my plan now. This is how I'm going to bet it. I'm going to bet the Hurricanes -1. I'm going to bet the under 6.5 in Washington, Columbus. And I'm going to bet the under 6.5 in Ottawa, Montreal.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. And the old me is creeping back, Jim. I'm glancing at the under 2 in the first period for the Montreal game. That's -152. But I think I'll just stick with the 1.5, right? So tempting to buy that insurance. But, long term, probably. Actually, I think there's probably high volatility here. So I'll take the dog. Yeah, I'll take the dog.
All right. I like it. That was fun. Those are 3 interesting games. I didn't come in with a plan of actually, I looked at them closely. I just didn't feel like that the road favorites should be this big, but I like it. Big Show picks in the house. Mo Harris, Don Play. All right, it is time for our first foray into college basketball, Pete.
All right, wait. First, let me just officially quote the lines, though.
Sure.
Columbus money line is plus 181. That's Pinnacle.
All right.
And then the Ottawa Montreal first period under is 130 at Will Hill.
Pete is on the Jackets. Plus 181. Because we're coming back in action here like this late in the year, I will I'm not going to track, I'm like starting now or anything with your
Sure, whatever.
But I'll wait till baseball season pops off there. Jackets plus 181 and the under 1.5. First period under 1.5 for Pete. Pete first period under 1.5 at plus 130. All right, I love it. Let's roll on to college basketball. And Pete, I'm having a season right now, 59%. It's the best number I've ever had in my career in college basketball. 72 and 50 plus 17.1 units, ROI plus 14.02%, average line minus 110.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'll be listening hard to what you got to say then, Jim. Wow. Very, very nice. Very, very nice.
It's the best I've ever done, and I'm running real hot right now. Right now, the hottest I've ever been. Let me just get the NCAA. Here we go. Very quickly before we bring on your next guest, my basketball is absolutely atrocious. NBA, I should say, and that will be coming up here in a second, so we can talk about that. But I am here 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm 19 and 8, so I've cashed my last 19 of my last 27 bets, and I feel good. I feel really good, and like even on Friday, I lost Iona the first half by a point, and then they end up losing badly. But Oakland +9 and Air Force +13 both almost won outright. So I feel very good. Let's bring on your next guest, our first guest, Loshak in the bag, back in business. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us here, Pub Sports Radio. We have switched the order around. We're going to NCAA basketball next, and then NBA. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, Dabra Cadabra in the house. What up, Dabby?
What's up, guys? Ready to get to work. I love these Tuesday cards, man. I love them. I love them.
This is a big, juicy card. All right, I'm going to be setting up the game. I'm going to hand it over to Pistol Pete Loshak, and then Pete is going to hand it over to you, Dabby, for the expert analysis. All right, let's get to work. And Dan Kelly says, I know I say this ad nauseum, but we're going to figure a way to get these guys out to the mass. Oh, thank you. But he says the betting shows on TV have one thing in common: no accountability. You're right. It's not even. I don't want to get into it, but.
Can I just say one thing? You know, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I was at the sports book at Caesars, right? So they had all those talking heads on there, and I was like, these guys are fucking terrible. I was like, these guys are fucking terrible. They're not even I guess people don't want interesting. They just want cookie cutter, sort of mayonnaise bland talking heads. I guess. I don't know, but wouldn't they rather have something that's a little bit fun, a little bit interesting? Wouldn't ratings go up? Maybe not. I don't know.
It's shocking to me as well, hearing certain breakdowns with just no real knowledge of the market analysis and that stuff. But thank you for saying those things, Dan. Let's get right to work here. We start at 7. Now, I've picked out 10 games, and then I'm sure Pete will have a couple games that he may want to ask Cab about. But I still want to keep that rhythm that we've got going where we take 10 games and really look into them, and then Pete can add anything he wants or any questions he has for Daby Cab. But we start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Number 20, Clemson Tigers, 18-4, 10-1 in the ACC. At Boston College Eagles, 10-12, 4-7 in conference. We're in Chestnut Hill for this one. We will start with the line history and the cash flow. Line history-wise, this opened up Boston College +3.5. They're now +4.5. Total-wise, this is shot up heavy. And the last move was less than an hour ago. 2-point move to the over. We're now at 139. So opened at 135.5. So that's at Pinnacle. So Pinnacle's moved it a point. Pinnacle dropped this at 6:12 p.m. BetOnline, of course, dropped it 4 hours earlier. And it's the exact same numbers. 3.5 and 4.5 for the side, and the total is much different. And this is something we've been dealing with, Pete. BetOnline and Pinnacle being on completely different pages, which has added a new level of trickiness. This has been happening quite a bit.
Welcome to 2023, Jim. It's only going to get worse in upcoming years.
It's juiced heavy to the over -125, but they've moved it to 137. So they didn't move off that 137 like Pinnacle did to 139. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one here. Clemson, Boston College. We have 5,834 tickets in, and it's all Clemson. 92% of tickets, 86% of cash. And then total-wise, 54% of tickets and 89% of cash is on the under. But we've seen it just climb and climb and climb. Clemson comes in off its third straight win, 82-81 at Florida State on Saturday as 2.5-point favorites. They turned the ball over 18 times in the win. And the Eagles had the same situation in their loss at Virginia. They turned the ball over 16 times in the loss. So both teams coming off sloppy basketball. Boston College had their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in 56-57 loss at Virginia Saturday as 15-point dogs. Pistol Pete Loshak. We start with 3 games in the ACC before we move over to the SEC. Tigers, Eagles. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, unless I have something that I'm really liking, I'm just gonna basically say this is a pass. There's a few plays that I definitely like on today's card, and maybe I'll like this one later. But as of right now, I have no real bet. I have no bet on it and no real opinion as of right now as far as betting value is concerned.
Let's hear what Daby Cab has to say. We are in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts for this one. Take it away.
This is a tough game, and I do have a bet on it. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm going to just go over it real quick. So you said it. Clemson, 10-1 right now in ACC. Their only loss is to Wake Forest. Is a good Wake Forest team. They're 74th in offensive efficiency, 52nd in defensive efficiency. They got the bigs, Tyson and PJ Hall, like down low. That's what Clemson has done. Boston College, only 10-12 this season, 4-7 in ACC. They have won 2 straight, but it's against Notre Dame and Louisville. And we all know what those 2 teams are doing this year. 253rd in offensive efficiency, 117th in defensive efficiency. This looks like a layup for Clemson. And I don't think it is, because Boston College has, they've been good at home. And they've lost to some top teams. I know this Boston College team is 4-7 in ACC play, but they've lost to top teams. All that being said, I'm sure the line has moved. I bet Clemson first half -1.5 last night. If that's still available, I'd love to take it, make it official. But I think you said it moved to 4.5. So it's probably 2.5 now.
Well, let's take a quick look at first half here for Clemson. Yes, it is 2.5.
Fuck.
2.5.
I think I'll take it. I'll take it. If Boston College does cover this, I think they do it in the second half.
Clemson first half -2.5 at -110. That's available market wide.
God, I hate taking a different number than what I have bet, man.
Yeah, it's tricky.
I went 9-1 the day before and the day after Wednesday's show last week. I'm transparent about everything. I post everything.
How do you think I feel? I was going to give the Knicks under on the overnight, 237.5. Now it's 230. Tell me what the fuck I'm supposed to do now with that, right?
Okay,
I hear you.
I'm in the same boat. I'm like 50-50. Like, it's not what I like giving you guys what my money is on. I like telling you what my actual money is on. My money's on 1.5, not 2.5.
Yeah, it's tough. It's all our cappers have to deal with it. If you want to tweet it out, you can get it at whatever number you bet it at.
Okay. I'll start tagging you. I tweet everything. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll move on. We'll take it.
Yeah, it's tough though. There are cappers, friends of mine who can't or won't, do a show now with me, and because they can't give out picks that are available right now. And so
we're here to share knowledge.
But I hear it's really tricky. It's really difficult with those things implemented. But Cab is on Clemson first half -2.5. Did you already tweet out your card for today?
Actually, I don't think I have. No. So
okay.
Go ahead and give me the 2.5.
Okay. All right.
Usually I have it tweeted out before the show. Today I don't.
Well, that is our first game in the ACC. Let's move on to the second game in the ACC. I do not feel comfortable with the spot here. I don't want to back Boston College, but I certainly feel like after that loss at Virginia that they're going to be much better here. And I don't know if that's enough for it's Boston College or no bet. Seeing 91% of the tickets, 86% cash on Clemson just makes me just kind of want to stay off. So my whole thing, Pete, is all being just situational spots following the sharp money. That's all it is. All it is. Basically, it's just backing a team off of a bad loss or backing a team off a sloppy game. Here, they both played sloppy. Here, see, that's what I wish Clemson looked better against Florida State, even though Florida State has improved as the season's gone on. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern. Virginia Tech Hokies 13-8, 3-7 in the ACC. At the number 23 ranked Miami Hurricanes 16-5, 7-4 in the ACC. Where Watsco Center and Coral Gables. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Let me pull it up. Sorry, Virginia Tech Miami. We have V Tech opening up at +3.5. They're now +4. This total opened up at 142.5, now at 143.5. So let's just see if BetOnline is on the same thing here. BetOnline has 3.5 and 3.5. So they're a point difference, and they just moved it. back to 3.5. So a very different situation than what Pinnacle's doing. And this total opened up at 145.5. It's now at 143. So very different information here. Virginia Tech comes in off its second straight home win after defeating Duke 78-75 8 days ago. They followed up with a convincing 85-70 victory at home over Syracuse Saturday at 6.5-point favorites. They shot 53.3% from the field and 40.6% from three. Look, they're a good team, and they're a really good team at home. And I do not believe that is the case once they start traveling. Let's just take a look at the cash flow for this. Wow. So at this point, and I'll refresh it, but at this point, Sports Insights has not given any line value to any team in the entire card except for one, and that's Virginia Tech, and they've given full line value. And the Sharps are all over Virginia Tech, 33% of the tickets and 89% of the cash, 51% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the under. So, Miami heads home after 3 straight road games. The latest was a 71-68 loss at Pittsburgh as 1-point favorites. Miami shot 49.1% from the field and 47.1% from three. I don't believe either of these teams. I certainly don't think Virginia Tech's going to come in here and shoot 53 plus from the field and 40 plus from three. And I'm not sold that Miami's going to come home and shoot as well. It's 47.1% from three. So if I put all that together, and I'm certainly not going to – situationally, I would fade Virginia Tech, but I'm not going to ever go up against Sharps. You know, that's my rule. So I'm very interested in the under here. Pete, take it away, Virginia Tech, Miami.
All right. Maybe before these segments, you should just – I can just tell you what I'm liking just so that no one thinks I'm just copying what you say about Sports Insights Sharp Action. Because, yeah, I like Virginia Tech here and the under. First half under, maybe even a bit more possibly. I don't want to get too cute with the first half, second half stuff, but yeah, I definitely like Virginia Tech plus 3.5, and I bet that. And I think, let me see what the first half under would be as well. Yeah, I think I like the under in general, but I think maybe the first half under a little bit more. Where is it? Where's the first half under in this one? Sorry. Oh, yeah, 67. Yeah, I do kind of like that. I think I might make but I want to hear what Daby Cab has to say about this game. But definitely liking Virginia Tech plus 3.5 and first half under 67.
We can get you a 4 if you want to move on that. We'll hear what Cab has to say. But first off, it was Parlangel's birthday yesterday. Happy belated, man. Hope you did it up nice. And he said he's been waiting all year for a Pete Loshak birthday pick, which he will be adding to his parlay, putting together a parlay right now. And you will get one from him.
Okay, yeah, let me copy that. Last week, I friggin' forgot that there was a friggin' birthday pick that I had to give. So I don't even know how to handle it. That's the first time in my life that's ever happened. So, but yeah, yes, Parlangel, yes, I'll give a birthday pick. Hell yeah.
Daby Cab, take it away. ACC, Virginia Tech, Miami.
All right, man. Last thing I want to do is go against Sharps or Pete here. This is a tough cap, man. Virginia Tech, they've won the 2 in a row after that 7-game losing streak. Hunter Couture coming back, even though he only averages a little over 10 points per game, he's been a spark for this Virginia Tech team. I mean, you could really see it. Having that extra person to dish the ball out deep has been huge. So 13-8 overall, 3-7 in conference. Last game, Virginia Tech shot 53.3%, and that's at home. Now we're going back out on the road. So this situationally, like you said, is a spot that lines up to fade them. 146th and scoring offense, putting up 73.4 points per game. They do a good job moving the ball around. Like I said, having Couture to dish the ball to is big. They're 54th in the nation in assists with 15.2 assists per game. They shoot 46.8%, which is good for 60th. They're 35.1% beyond the arc, which is good. They hit 72.7% of their free throws, which is good. It's a good shooting Virginia Tech team all the way across the board. A good shooting team. Now we look at Miami. It's the same thing. 52nd in scoring offense, 77.7 points per game. Assists are up there also, 14.9, which is 79th. They do have the 182nd scoring defense, giving up 69.5 points per game, but they're scoring more than 70 in every game. Real quick on the numbers, shooting 47.8% from the field, 35.6% from deep, 76.1% from the free throw line. So all this lines up to say, yeah, Virginia Tech's a great shooting team. Miami's a little bit better shooting team, actually. And Virginia Tech right now is 10-2 at home, 3-0 on neutral sites. They're 0-6 on the road. Miami is 11-0 at home. Miami's at home here. I don't know. I think I might be a first and just pass because I don't want to go against Sharps and Pete. But I like.
Yeah, first of all, this could also flip by tip. In terms of like who the quote unquote supposed Sharps are on.
Right. Can I still get the 1.5 on the first half?
Yeah. Let's move over there right now and see what is available for you here. First half. Let's move point spreads. First half. Here we go. Sorry. We have no. It's a -2 at -105 is the best first half.
I guess I'll take that.
All right. Miami first half -2 at -105.
And Miami's got to win. This is a big game for both of these teams. Miami's trending in the wrong direction. Virginia Tech's trending in the right direction with Couture coming back. Miami's coming back home. They need to win. They've got to win. They got to win this game.
MDR did find one here. Found one Miami -1.5 -120. Do you want to pay 15 cents?
I'll take the 105.
-2 at -105. Thank you for showing us that. A Big Show saying Miami 13-0 last 13. And there's Matty Ice with the taint play of the day. And we are breaking that game down. So it's great to have a taint play on it here. The copy and paste that. Well, I love this. I'm very comfortable here. And I'm going to move on the full game under. I think it correlates properly for me. I could understand the first half under, but I'm going to give myself the full game here, Pete. So I am moving on the under. Fortunately, it's 142.5 right now for me at my book. But what do you like here, Pistol Pete? Are you going to move on anything?
Yeah, I want to take Virginia Tech, but there's a 4 out there, right?
There is a 4. And shout out to Justin McElvey. Says, guess who's pulling up to Pupapalooza in March?
Hell yeah.
Says, yes, sir. Me and the wife coming through road trip coming from Pittsburgh, PA. Man, that's fucking dope, dude. That's so dope, man. That'll be fun.
All right, look, it's college basketball. There's going to be a lot of picks. If it loses, I'll be able to make it up. Yeah, you can add on Virginia Tech for me.
Virginia Tech full game for Pete. At this point, there's over 6,000 tickets and 90% of the cash on them. Yes, you can get a 4, but it is juiced.
That's fine. 116, I'm seeing a Pinnacle.
Yep.
Or better somewhere else if you can see it.
That's it. Okay, Pete is at V Tech +4 at -116. All right, we roll on. So, Pete, did you want me to introduce the game in the market, but not the situation, and then go to you first? Did you say?
Yeah, no. I was just saying, like, I just don't want it to be like. I think at the beginning of the entire segment, I'll like tell you what I've either bet or was thinking about, just so you don't think I'm copying whatever you say the Sharps are on. So yeah, no, just intro it. And if I got anything to say, I'll say it. If not, I'll pass.
Okay. Wake Forest Demon Deacons. This is the third game in ACC before we move to the SEC and the A10 and the Big 12. We have Wake Forest Demon Deacons 14-8, 6-5 in conference to the Duke Blue Devils 15-6, 6-4 in conference. We're in Cameron Indoor Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. We'll go over to the line history here first for this one. Duke Wake opening up as 8-point dogs. They're at that number. It did go up to 8.5 for a while, but it's at 8 right now. But it's juiced to -116 to the favorite. Bet Online has not done that. Bet Online has moved it 5 cents towards Wake Forest, and Bet Online moved this to 9 at one point last night. Total wise, Bet Online opened this up at 149, now at 147, and Pinnacle has gone from 146.5 and not moved. They've been forced to move to the over. I mean, it's so important to talk about Bet Online here, coming out 4 hours before Pinnacle. So Bet Online opened this up at 149 and it's dropped. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. 5,375 tickets in, 69% of tickets, 79% of the cash on Wake Forest. 81% of tickets, 92% of cash on the over, and it's dropping. Tricky. Wake comes in off its third straight loss, 79-77 at home on Saturday to NC State as 4-point favorites. Duke comes in off its second win in 3 games, and it was an 86-43 complete beatdown at Georgia Tech as 9-point favorites. They shot 55.7% from the field and out-rebounded Tech 43-22. Take it away here, Pistol Pete, Wake Forest, Duke.
This one, I didn't understand the line, and it hasn't moved, so that always really scares me. No idea why Duke is this big of a favorite. I know they got revenge, and if the money line were minus 110 on both sides, I'd take Duke, sure. I'd take Duke at Pick'em, but at 8.5, I don't understand the line, Jim.
Interesting. Let's see what Daby has to say about this one. We got Tone Miggins in the house. What up, Tone? Take it away, Daby Cab. Wake Forest, Duke.
I said this on the Pub Hub on Saturday, the NCAA Pub Hub, that with teams like Duke, who, they're not Duke of old, that there's no doubt they're not as much of a powerhouse as they've been, but they're not as bad as they've been either. And we're looking for a situation to start betting them, kind of like we got with Kentucky and other teams out there, Virginia Tech of late. Duke, 156 right now, and scoring offense, putting up 72.8 points per game. At home, 79 points per game, and on the road, 70 points per game. So there's a pretty big, almost a 10-point drop off there on the road. They're only shooting 32.4% from deep, which is terrible. Last 10 games, Duke has allowed 67.9 points per game, which is a little bit above average for them. On the last 10 games, Wake has scored 80.2 points per game. They're only allowing 73 points per game this season, which is a little above average. It's been a little higher in their last 10 games. Look, Appleby is one of the most exciting players to watch, Tyree Appleby for Wake Forest. He only shot 2 for 8 last game, and I don't see him doing that again. I see him chomping at the bit to get out on the court today. I think Appleby has a good game. I would lean Wake with the points here, but I'm staying away from Duke because I'm worried they might have turned that corner and might start shitting on people for a little bit.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, we have a very public road dog here, and the market's been all over the place. The first thing that happened was people were betting Duke, and you always think that people who get in first are the sharper cappers. Went from 8 to 9, then over the next 3.5 hours from that, it got bet all the way down to 7 at Bet Online. It's just 7, 9, just jumping back and forth. I can understand the trepidation from both of your. Thank you, Lucas.
I said it wrong. What did I say wrong? Champing? What is that a horse thing?
It is champing. Yeah, everybody who's been saying chomping in the bit has been saying it wrong their whole lives.
Isn't the bit what's in the mouth?
Look, I hear you. I'd been saying
okay. Let's just go on.
I've been saying it wrong too, but it is champing at the bit. Take it away, Pete. Are you going to move on this one, or do we move on?
No.
Okay. Pass. We move on. Wake Forest, Duke Blue Devils, no moves for us. Let's move back to the SEC and the Texas A&M Aggies in play here. 15-6, 7-1 in conference. Arkansas Razorbacks 14-7, 3-5 in conference. We're Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville. Let's go to the line history here for this one. And the Aggies in play here. And the market slightly moving towards them. At Pinnacle, it's gone from 4 to 3.5. At Bet Online, it went from 4.5 to 3.5. And it went all the way down to 3. Got down to 3. So there's been a little bit of buyback. So cappers liking Texas A&M here. This total at Bet Online went from 140 to 137.5. At Pinnacle, it went from 139 to 138.5. So the point difference again in the total here at these books. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 4,279 tickets in. Really no help. 50-50 on the ticket count. 53% of cash on Texas A&M. Then 35% of the tickets on the under and 77% of cash on that under. A&M coming off their second straight win, 72-66 at home over Vanderbilt. Saturday's 10-point favorites. Very underwhelming victory. Arkansas had their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in a very tough 67-64 loss at Baylor on Saturday as 6.5-point dogs. Pistol Pete, Texas A&M, Arkansas.
Yeah, I was thinking about slight lean to Texas A&M and the under, and so then I'm thinking a little bit harder about Arkansas team total under maybe, and first half under maybe. Want to hear what everyone in the comment section and Daby Cab has to say about this one, though.
Let's hear, Cabby.
Got you. All right, so A&M right now, super hot. 9 of their last 10. They're 7-1 right now in conference play. They've got that win over Auburn, which was on the road. They're putting up 74.6 points per game, which is good for 119th in scoring offense. They're only allowing 66 points per game, which is outstanding. That's good for 78th in defense. Wade Taylor leads them, putting up 14.8 points per game. He's been fun. He crashes the boards. He's a lot of fun to watch play. Arkansas on the other side, pretty much evenly matched when you look at the scoring offense, 74.5 points per game. On defense, they've been a little better, but both these defenses are good. 65.1 points allowed per game. So I do like the under on this. If you look at these defenses, I think this is going to be a lot of bricks, a lot of rebounds, and a lot of. I think this is going to be a very hard fought basketball game, to say the least. Arkansas is only shooting 30.7 from deep and 69.8% from the free throw line. When we're going to look at teams covering or not covering, we really got to look at the free throws, guys. Look, in the first half, I get to X that out of my cap. So a lot of times you're not going to hear me talk about free throws when I'm betting the first half. Does it matter? Sure, I need them to make their free throws, but it doesn't matter like it does at the end of the game. At the end of the game, you have to have those fucking free throws or you're going to miss by a point, by a hook, and it's going to kill you. Arkansas struggles at the free throw line. A&M this year, 10-1 at home. So they got a great home record, but they don't fall off too much on the road. 4-2 with that win over Auburn, like I said. Now, Arkansas, this is one of the toughest places to go in and play. You don't want to go in and play in Arkansas. They're 10-1 at home. Their only loss is against Alabama. And that is why I'm off of this game, because at home, I don't go against Arkansas at home, but I lean A&M.
Well, I am going to move on this under. I like the looks of this under. What do you think, Pete?
I like to get cute until I get burned, and then I regret it. But I haven't gotten burned yet because this is our first college basketball show with the three of us. So I'm going to check this out, Jimmy the Bag. Arkansas, first half, team total under 33.5 minus 110, current line at Heritage. Nice to see that Pinnacle has that at 118, so that's kind of nice. Heritage line, Arkansas, team total under, first half, 33.5 minus 110.
That's a good bet.
I do think the first half is going to be drag it out, fight it out, everything. But I'm a little bit worried that maybe Texas A&M might blow them out in the first half, and the first half goes over. But then again, as you said, Arkansas, tough place to play, so I don't necessarily want to take Texas A&M first half. Arkansas first half, team total under. We'll see how that turns out.
Well, I like it. Correlates with my full game under here in Texas A&M, Arkansas. Let's move on. Head over to the A10. I wanted this game in, and it's a good thing that we did. Nunya's play of the day is Fordham money line. Mo Harris saying Fordham top shooter is out. Let's head to Rose Hill Gymnasium in the Bronx, baby. We have line history first here for this one. St. Louis Billikens 15-6, 7-1 in the A10. Fordham Rams 17-4, 5-3 in the A10. We have a move on St. Louis. Fordham now opening up at +4. They're now at +4.5. In total, that's at Penny 4 and now 4.5. Bet Online did that at 3.5 to 4. But look at this. Bet Online moved it all the way to 5 at one point, so we've come back to 4. Total wise, it's opened up at 148. It's now at 146, and at Penny it opened up at 147. It's now 146. St. Louis comes in off its 6th straight win, 74-70 at Davidson on Friday. It's 2.5-point favorites. It was a better win than it looked, even because Davidson turned the ball over 4 times. 4 times. They played such clean basketball, and St. Louis still had enough to get the victory. And I know a lot of the cappers in our chat were on St. Louis. Fordham comes in off its 4th straight win, 85-70 at home over George Washington on Saturday as 3.5-point favorites. Take it away here, my man, Pistol Pete Loshak. What up, Franco? We got Frank White in the house. Let's get some money, Frank. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, St. Louis is a pretty good team right now, in my opinion, as far as to bet on. I'm very impressed by them in general. I guess my first thought might be over here. I don't really want to take them as a road favorite necessarily, but thinking about maybe over or the St. Louis team total over might pull the trigger on that based on what I hear. But yeah, it's interesting. And Fordham's leading scorer is out. Is that accurate?
I'm going to pull up all of that injury information and see if I can get the latest.
But my first thought would be maybe St. Louis team total over.
Let's hear what Daby Cab has to say about it.
Yeah, no, I can't go against that. I mean, St. Louis, for me, it would be tough to go the other way right now. St. Louis, when you look at just their roster in general, and you can take these kind of rankings for what they are, but number 16th in their overall roster, they've got 4 players that are averaging double digits, which is nice when you can do that. They're number 33 in field goal percentage, which is great. This team has multiple people they can give the ball to. They have They have multiple shooters, something that I like when I'm looking for a team to bet on. And then you look at the other side, terrible, ranked outside the top 220 nationally in field goal percentage and turnover rate. Fordham's strength, has just been their free throws, which is great, shooting 75.4%. But, you got to get to the line. The line has to matter. I know I talked about that last game when we're talking about it, but if you're not getting to the free throw line, that shit don't matter. Really here, I know that nothing is easy, and 3.5 could be what you could call bait. But I like St. Louis in this spot. I haven't bet them yet. So yeah. And they've won 5 straight against Fordham, covering the spread 4 of those 5 for people who like trends.
Well, look at that. Nunya, Fordham money line play of the day out of nowhere. What's that all about? What is that all about?
That's what I'm saying. What's going on? Like, there's something behind the scenes I don't know about on this game.
He didn't just pull that out of his ass. There's a reason for that post right there.
This one is a tricky, tough one.
But there you go. Lucas Ryan, St. Louis is my home team. You know how much I like those kinds of comments, Jim. He says this is a great spot for them. And I think they're a great team in general as far as ATS is concerned. So it's a tough one. I'm going to pass.
I don't think that Fordham, here's where I'm at with it. I don't think they have the offensive firepower to keep up. If we were talking about maybe 1 or 2 players on the other side that could shoot, I get it. But we're talking about 4. We can spread the ball around. I just don't think they keep up offensively. But I'm not on it, so my money's not where my mouth is.
Okay.
All right, and you're staying off that team total over for the Billikens?
For now, yes, definitely.
All right, let's head over to the Big 12, a rematch. We saw these two teams play just on the 17th of January. Number 7th ranked Kansas State Wildcats, 18-3, 6-2 in the Big 12 of the Kansas Jayhawks, 17-4, 5-3 in the Big 12. We're at Allen Fieldhouse for this one. Kansas State defeated Kansas in overtime just 2 weeks ago, 83-82. They come in off their third win in 4 games, 64-50 at home over Florida as 4.5-point favorites. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. We have Kansas State opening up as 7-point dogs, now 8-point dogs. Totals wise, open up at 146, now 145.5. Let's see what BetOnline did with that. They did at 146 and kept it at 146, and they opened Kansas State at 7, now at 8. So we have the same numbers there. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. Kansas State, 9,961 tickets in, 54% of the tickets, 54% of the cash on Kansas, 42% of the tickets, 75% of the cash on the over, but the card or the books don't seem too concerned about that. Kansas snapped that ugly 3-game losing streak with a much needed 77-68 victory at Kentucky as 3-point dogs. Pistol Pete, you have a feel here?
Well, similar to the Wake Forest game, the line doesn't quite make sense. So I guess I would be, I mean, why would Kansas State be getting this many points here? And, I guess I'd be leaning maybe first half under. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Let's hear from that.
So K-State this year, they're 12-0 at home. Okay. And in college, it's a big deal. I know we talk about these home and road splits, but some of these players, they shoot so much better on their home court than they do when they go on the road. K-State, like I said, right now, 12-0 at home. They're 3-3 on the road. Okay. I don't usually look into trends that go back past years because I don't like that. But for this, you can't ignore it. K-State has lost 16 in a row in Lawrence. That goes back to 2006. 16 games in a row they've lost. So we look at K-State, at the numbers, they seem pretty even. K-State's putting up a few more points per game. They're 60th in scoring, where Kansas is 80th. We're sitting at 77.1 versus 76. An assist, you look at K-State, they're 7th in the country in assists. They got 17.7 assists per game. I love teams that move the ball around. They're only allowing 67.3 points per game. This is a very good team. This line, I think Pete touched on it. I think it's a little high. If I could get Kansas at -2.5 in the first half, I'd bet it, but I can't. And it's just, this line's too much for me. It's K-State or pass, and I'm not going against Kansas at home.
Lamont Williams in the house. Max betting the Clemson full game under 137.5. Love knowing Lamont's max bets. Thank you for sharing that with us, Lamont. I think that you picked the perfect game to compare this to, Pete, with the Duke Wake game. I mean, I guess the books have a feeling like Kansas is really going to take the anger from that overtime loss at Kansas State and smash and grab them. It's funny because Lee Davis says maybe Kansas State first half, and my first thought was maybe Kansas first half.
I have been so close to betting Kansas first half. I just haven't. So,
and let's just go back to where there was no 54-54. What do you think, Pete? Anything you're going to move on?
No, I'm going to pass on this one for now.
Huh. All right. And Mike M says the line tells you what's going to happen here. If I was to only think about what the line is telling us, I would think that the Jayhawks win this comfortably today.
I mean, the thing is, and Billy Friedrich says, I like Pete's idea of first half under. It's just that, the first game they played obviously went to OT, right? First half was very high scoring, but then it turned into a very tough playoff rivalry oriented, whatever kind of game. And that's probably how this one starts off as well. You know what I mean? After an OT game, they're going to be clashing.
Yeah.
Start. They're not going to be running up and down playing no D.
Eric Jones says Kansas 10-point win. Okay, let's move on then. No action here from us. I know that Daby Cab thinking about taking Kansas first half. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Stay in the Big 12 for this one. 9 p.m. Eastern. West Virginia Mountaineers 13-8, 2-6 in the Big 12 at number 15th ranked TCU Horned Frogs 16-5, 5-3 in the Big 12. We're in Fort Worth, Texas for this one. Justin McElvey says Kansas first half is his look. Gonna be dope running with McElvey and the white man. Oh god, I can't wait for Palooza. Okay, let's take a look at the line history here for this one. West Virginia TCU. Get to these 9:00 games. Here we go. So West Virginia opened up as 3.5-point dogs. They're now 1.5-point dogs. So a big move towards West Virginia. At Bet Online, they opened it up at 3. It's now at 2, but it did get down to 1.5. It's back to 2. The total wise opened up at 146. It's dropped to 143, and at Pinnacle opened up at 145 and dropped to 143.5. Cash wise for this one, 4,636 tickets in, 75% of tickets, 72% of cash. Oh, no, sorry, shit, that's Kentucky, Mississippi. 44% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on West Virginia. So clear big bets and sharp money coming in on West Virginia, and the book's concerned. 65% of the tickets are on the under, and we don't have a cash flow yet. West Virginia comes off its second straight win, 80-77 at home versus Auburn on Saturday's 3.5-point favorites. And TCU had their 2-game winning streak snapped in an 81-74 overtime loss at Mississippi State as 1.5-point favorite. Pistol Pete, what do you think here? Big 12 action, West Virginia at TCU.
Yeah, I like West Virginia under and TCU team total under, and probably the old getting too cute TCU first half team total under most of all, maybe. Haven't bet it yet. Want to hear what you have to say, but I'm almost certainly going to be on West Virginia first half and the TCU team total unders.
Let's hear what Daby has to say.
So I was on TCU last game, and it's the updates on Mike Miles Jr. have just been like, what the fuck is going on? Like it's good, it's bad. Like he's not playing. We know that, but how serious is it? I don't know. And Mike Miles Jr. is absolutely huge for TCU. I'm shocked that they still almost won that game without him. He went out 3 minutes or 4 minutes into the last game. Is just terrible. West Virginia ranks 22nd in adjusted offense efficiency. They're great on the glass, 28th. They do turn the ball over a little bit too much, which is going to be a problem against this TCU team, which is number 15th in the country in turnover rate. But, like I said, TCU's offense is just barely above average, 179th in effective field goal percentage, terrible from deep, 29.5% from deep, which is 344th in the nation. Going against a West Virginia team that's 42nd in adjusted defense, you look at the trends go against West Virginia huge here. TCU is 11-4-1 last 16 ATS. West Virginia is 3-8 last 11 ATS. 8-1 at home for TCU. So all that being said, I would lean West Virginia here or nothing. Without Mike Miles Jr., I think offense is going to be at an absolute fucking premium for TCU.
Yeah, and Miles, it's hyperextended, no ACL or MCL issues, but will not be in the lineup tonight What do you think, Pete?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm liking and thinking. I guess I'll hold off for a second. Just want to think about it a little bit more, but yeah, definitely leaning all those ways. West Virginia under and TCU team total under.
What you take the star player out of the lineup. Generally, we think that there's a boost, but did that already sort of take place because he only played 4 minutes of that last game?
Yeah, I mean, and I just think that West Virginia is going to be able to take advantage of it, and they'll want to.
Rob Free says, Daby, you're right. TCU is a horrible three-point shooting team. They get down and can't come back. Troy Torrance says, I'm going to be riding West Virginia and Virginia Tech as they're undervalued on the market. Troy saying TCU is overrated. Swiss Horton says TCU going to show off the fraud card today. And Mike M says, love this under. One of the best bets of the day. Both teams have active under trends and are coming off an over with a recent game being played. What do we have again for the ticket count here? Let me just go back to 65% of tickets on the under. We don't have a cash flow, but 65% of tickets on the under, and we're watching it drop. And TCU could have trouble scoring. Wow. Okay. Well.
All right. You know what? You can put that on. Let's do another one. A second cute first half team total under. TCU first half team total under. I'm seeing 34 minus 110 at Heritage right now.
I'm thinking of moving on the full game under here for myself, which would be my third on this college basketball card. All right. And Lucky Lefty on West Virginia first half money line. Jay Rowe says he's loving that look from our guy Lucky Lefty. Pete's on the TCU team total first half team total under 34 minus 110. I'm going to be on the full game under in this spot. All right, let's move on. We head to the Xfinity Center in College Park, Maryland. Number 21 ranked Indiana Hoosiers, 15-6, 6-4 in conference against the Terps, who are 5-5 in conference, 14-7 overall. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Indiana, Maryland. Move over here. We have Indiana opening up as 3-point dogs. That's where they are right now. It got to 2.5 for a while. That +3 for Indiana is minus 113 at Pinnacle. So 3, that's what it opened at, where it is. But online, same deal. Total wise, it's opened up 139.5, now 138.5. We have yet to talk about a game where the total's creeping up. They're all going down. Pinnacle opened this up at 140 and it's now at 138. And we take a look at the cash flow here. We have 6,088 tickets in, 43% of tickets, 55% of cash on Indiana. Then 76% of tickets, 59% of cash on the over. Mike M says, great Maryland spot tonight. Indiana comes off its fifth straight win, 86-70 at home over Ohio State on Saturday. It's 5-point favorites, 50% from the field, 50% from three. Maryland comes in off its second straight win, 82-63 at home over Nebraska on Saturday's 11.5-point favorites. Pistol Pete, Hoosiers, Terps.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking Maryland. Haven't bet it yet though, and definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, after Maryland looks like they're I mean, both teams have been great ATS recently, but I think that Maryland is more likely to hold up here. But yeah, I want to take Maryland. Want to hear what you guys have to say first.
Take it away, Daby Cab.
As per usual, I think I'm going to be against the chat here and against people's systems. Look, Maryland is in my opinion, an overrated basketball team. I know that they're 11-1 at home, which is great, but they are 5-7 against quad 1 and quad 2 competition. I can stretch that out to quad 2. When good teams show up, Maryland doesn't show up. Okay. Indiana is shooting 50.3% this year, which is 4th in the nation. They're putting up 78.6 points per game, which is good for 37th in the nation. They're shooting 38.4% from deep, which is good for 20th in the nation. They hold teams to just 40.8% shooting, which is good for 52nd in the nation. Trace Jackson Davis has been on a tear since he's been back, putting up 19.6 points per game. He should be the favorite right now to win the Big Ten Conference Player of the Year. He is that good. And he probably will win it. Like I said, Maryland, I know they're 11-1 at home, but against good competition, they fall short. Maryland struggles on offense. Okay. They only have an average 11 assists per game. I talk about in college how much I love teams that move the ball around. Maryland doesn't move the ball around. 11 assists per game is terrible. That's last in the Big 10, actually. They're putting up 71 points per game on 44.9% shooting. From deep, they're shooting just 30.7%, which is 322nd in the nation. where Maryland excels is on defense. They've been holding teams to 63.7 points per game this year on only 41.6% shooting. I went over the shooting numbers with Indiana here. Do I think they shoot as high as they've been doing all season? No. But do I think they shoot enough to outlast this Maryland team, especially catching points? Yes. I got Indiana plus 1.5 in the first half.
All right. Indiana. What do you think, Pete?
I like it a lot. I was only thinking about Maryland for just some very basic overall reasons. I think out loud here, Daby Cab. You know what I mean? When there's something that I really like, or if I've already bet it, then I say it. But unless it's that, I'm just thinking out loud and thinking it through in public. You know what I'm saying? So
I always tell people, I'm like, my money's not on it. It don't count.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought before I looked into it was Indiana, at 3.5, which it was. There was 3.5s around. And then I was like, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a great Maryland spot. But I'm still not sure what I think, and it'll be interesting to see where the line closes. And definitely has second half written all over it, or live betting written all over it, depending on how things turn out. But so it's going to be a pass for me.
Indiana first half plus 1.5 at -110. We got.
Oh my God! And there you go. A my team comment from Lucky Lefty. Maryland, my team, and Daby is right. Garbage for the talent they have.
Wow. I'm going to stay off of this spot.
But then above it, we have I'm a Hoosier home from Jason Falk. I'm a Hoosier homer, but I can't touch them tonight. Wow. So we have conflicting my team sucks comments here.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'll sit back and cheer on Daby Cab.
Both homer opinions are that their team sucks.
Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Cab did move on Indiana first half plus 1.5. We have Northwestern Wildcats 15-5, 6-3 in the Big Ten. Iowa Hawkeyes 13-8, 5-5 in the Big Ten. Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, Iowa, and we have arrived at the Taint play of the day. Taint is in business here on the under 149.5 from our Matty Ice. Here we go. Let's talk about this spot here. So Matty Ice got the under 149.5. Let's see what is available for all of us. At Pinnacle, this opened up with Northwestern plus 6.5. They're now at plus 7. Bet Online opened this up at plus 6.5. Now they're at 7. So same deal there. Pinnacle total opened this up at 149. Now up to 151. Wow, up to 151. Bet Online opened this up at 146.5. And it's up to 149.5. And at Bet Online, it got up to 150 last night. And look at this move to the over at Bet Online, Pete. 146.5, it opens up at 220. 12 minutes later, it's at 149. Yeah. 12 minutes later, a 2.5 point move to the over. Matty Ice, though, on the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this. And Matty Ice has gone against market moves like this and cashed them easily in front of us. 3,668 tickets in, 48% of tickets, 51% in cash on Northwestern, so no help there. 57% of the tickets, 76% in cash on the under. And yet, this line keeps going up. Mike M says, Iowa is my favorite spot on the card tonight. I think this is a smash spot. Von Polo, by the way, on Indiana money line. And Justin McElvey, though, Northwestern first half is this look. Billy Friedrich's already on Iowa -7. Northwestern comes in off its third straight win, 81-61 at home over Minnesota on Saturday is 12.5 point favorites. They only turn the ball over 4 times. Do I expect them to do that at Carver Hawkeye? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't expect that at all. Iowa snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 93-82 win at home versus Rutgers Sunday is 4-point favorites. Pistol Pete, what do you think here? Northwestern, Iowa.
Definitely a scary game for me. I looked at it, but definitely have no bet or even opinion as of right now.
Over to Daby Cab. Take it away, Cab. What are your thoughts here? Northwestern, Iowa.
I just dropped my pen. I can sum this up for everyone. If you're looking at Iowa, you're looking at offense. If you're looking at Northwestern, you're looking at defense. It's that simple. Northwestern only gives up 94.1 points per 100 possessions, which is good for 22nd in the nation. They hold opponents to only 43.1% shooting, which is 7th in the nation. again, on offense, they definitely struggle. 109.2 points per 100 possessions. I guess that's 88th, so above average, but 45.9% shooting, which is 334th in the nation. So Northwestern does not shoot the ball well. Iowa's the exact opposite. 7th highest offensive rating, 118.7 points per 100 possessions, 51.8% shooting, 34.6% from deep, which is good for 163rd. They have the 128th adjusted defense efficiency. I'm bringing that up just to say that Iowa, they're still a little above average on defense. Fuck, this is a tough game, man. I'm off of it. If you got Mike M saying he thinks this is a smash spot, I could see Iowa running away with this at home. But with the defensive-minded team like Northwestern, it's hard to pass up points. I'm off this game.
Yeah, it seems like this is a tough one cash-wise right now. 51% of the cash on Northwestern. So,
wait, what? Is that true? Northwestern last 21 games have gone under.
What do you think here, Pistol Pete? Do you agree with this under 149.5 that our guy Matty Ice is on? Is there anything you want to make?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I agree with it just because it's his opinion. So that's a little circular logic there. But yeah, I mean, if he has that strong an opinion on a game like this, then yes, I definitely trust it.
This is a tough one. So nothing official for you here, Pete?
No.
Okay, I'm going to set up this game, and I will be listening. I've got to just duck out for a quick second, but 11 p.m. Eastern, this is the final college basketball game on the board. Mountain West action. San Diego State Aztecs, 17-4, 8-1 in conference at the Nevada Wolfpack, 16-6, 6-3 in conference. Lawler Event Center in Reno, Nevada. We will start with the line history here for this one. We have San Diego State opening up as 1.5 point favorites. They're now 3-point favorites at Pinnacle. 1.5 to 3 at Bet Online. It opened up at 2 and it's now 3.5. Total wise, it's opened up at 139. It's now at 138 over at Bet Online. Take a look at the cash flow for this one. 5,120 tickets in, and the big bets are coming in on San Diego State. 56% of tickets, 76% of the cash market moving in their direction. 69% of tickets and 77% of cash on the over, and we see it dropping slightly in the marketplace. San Diego State comes in off its 4th straight victory on Saturday, 72-51 at home over San Jose State as 13.5-point favorites. They only turned the ball over 3 times in the victory. I mean, this is just a team playing excellent basketball. Nevada comes in off its 2nd loss in 3 games, 68-62 at UNLV on Saturday's 1.5-point dogs. They lost at San Diego State on January 10th, 74-65 as 9.5-point dogs. And I like backing Nevada at home. And I planned on betting Nevada at home, but I won't be going up against their sharp cash or sharp money. Let's start with Peter, and Peter will hand it over to Daby Cab, and I will be right back.
All right. Well, I, was seeing some numbers earlier in the year that indicated that there was something wrong with San Diego State. Maybe stay off of them. But of course, ATS-wise, very recently, they might have turned a little bit of a corner or not. Maybe they just got a little bit lucky in, a home blowout against San Jose State. Maybe you can. They're obviously an excellent team. Are they the elite of the Mountain West? Maybe, maybe not. And I don't think that a blowout against San Jose State necessarily proves anything. For a while, I had them circled as a not necessarily a fade or pass situation, but definitely first glance always consider that they might be overrated and overvalued. Same deal with Clemson in my mind as of right now. But they've been covering recently, and obviously money has been coming in on them. I don't know. I guess I'd still be leaning San Diego State just based on how the line has moved, but I'm still not sure exactly what to make them as a team going forward. What do you think, Daby?
These teams are so closely numbers-wise. When you look at the numbers, these teams are so close. It's crazy. San Diego State, 113.8 points per 100 possessions. That's good for 34th in the nation. Nevada, 111.2 points per 100 possessions, which is good for 58th. Then you look at defensive side. San Diego State, 95.3 points allowed per 100 possessions, which is good for 29th. And Nevada, 97.4 points per 100 possessions, which is good for 48th. Nevada is also 35th in turnover rate, but Jimmy just said it. San Diego State only turned the ball over 3 times last game. So that's a huge factor going into this. If Nevada's relying on creating turnovers, I think that I'm off this game, but I think that San Diego State could be a look first half. That first game, San Diego State was up by a bunch before it got close. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they were up by a bunch. I mean, 20 points or something like that before it got close.
Yeah, the market's taking me off of the planned bet I had, and I'm very comfortable with that. I have enough action here in college basketball today, and I will let the market. Again, I don't flip, there's nothing wrong with flipping, but I don't flip. I just stay off if the market is saying. Mike M says Nevada over spot here, and we have a spot where Nevada is 112 at home. Yeah, I'm just not going to go up against sharp action here. Pistol Pete, anything you want to make official here for the Mountain West finale, 11 p.m. little DGen special?
No, that's a very, very tough one. I'm going to pass on that one as well.
All right. Before we review all action, that's the 10 games that we chose to highlight. Is there any games that you wanted to ask Cab about that I didn't put in our highlighted game speed?
Not really. I'm kind of liking Marist tonight a little bit. I'm kind of liking Marist. And I did take it over in the Akron Buffalo game. Those are the two bets that I did bet. And yeah.
Cab, is there any game that we didn't talk about of our 10 that you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, I was just going to let it lie, but I'll just go ahead and say it since you brought it up. I have Kentucky in the first half here against Old Miss. I took Kentucky 3.5 in the first half versus Old Miss. Like I said, Kentucky's been trending up. I know they lost their last game against Kansas. It was Kansas. It happens. They also got out rebounded. But you look at Old Miss, man. They've lost 3 straight. Arkansas by 12, Missouri by 12, Oklahoma State. They lost 62-60, so they got shit on. Like what's the saying? Like when it rains, it pours. I think Kentucky bounces back here. I got Kentucky first half -3.5.
Did you want? There's only that Pinnacles moved that to -117 on the 4. There are 4s at -110. Do you want to make that official? Kentucky.
I'll take a 4. Yeah, I wouldn't take a 4.5, but I'll take a 4.
All right, that's the final edition for Daby Cab. Is Kentucky first half minus.
I'm not big on parlays, and I want to shout out whoever it was. I can't remember who tweeted it at me. Somebody tweeted at me Kansas Kentucky moneyline parlay, and I was like, shit, I like that. Not gonna lie, I like that. I haven't bet it, but I'm just saying somebody tweeted that at me this morning. I like that.
Let's review all action here.
Hey, Jim, sorry, you can chuck on Marist plus 10.5 for me, -108 as well.
All right. He is adding Marist. What is it? Plus what?
Plus 10.5, -108.
Plus 10.5, -108. All right. So let's review all action. Daby Cab gets his card started here. Sorry, let me pass the NBA. Cab with Clemson first half -2.5, -110. Now, don't forget we have the Parlangel birthday pick, Pete, but you can give that at the end of the show. Cab's on Miami first half -2. Pete is on Virginia Tech full game +4, and I am on the under 142.5. So we're touching that game. Wake Forest, Duke, we stayed off. I'm going to be on the under in Texas A&M, Arkansas. Pete is on the Arkansas team total under 33.5. St. Louis, Fordham, no action. Kansas State, no action. Pete is on the TCU first half team total under 34. I'm on the under in West Virginia, TCU. Cabs on Indiana first half +1.5. The taint play of the day is Northwestern Iowa under 149.5. And we stayed off San Diego State, Nevada. Cabs on Kentucky first half -4. Pete's on Marist +10.5 and -108. And that is your college basketball breakdown for Tuesday, January 31st. Daby Cab, go out there and get that cash, my man. I will see you tomorrow. You'll be back in action with us again tomorrow. So we'll be hammering away, and go get that cash, man. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
No, man, it's you guys in the chat, man. Let's dance, MDR, Troy, Billy Friedrich, Mike M, my guy right there. I appreciate you doing these live streams with me, man. Nunya, Don Play, all you guys, man. We got Jimmy. I can't wait for Pubapalooza. I can't wait to have a drink with you again. I can't wait, Pete. I hope I see you there. I'll have some fatties rolled up for us. Everyone there. I'm not going to be passing joints. I'll be handing joints out. There's a difference because I'm not passing shit. We'll all have our own joint. We'll all have our own drink. And it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. There he is, Deborah Cadabra. We get into NBA, and your guest is a sight for sore eyes. I capped the card with him like the first week of the year, and he crushed it. And I've not capped the card with him again. And I've had a terrible NBA season. So maybe this is the tonic for me to get back into W's. I talked about how good my college basketball record is. I can't say the same thing about my NBA record, but maybe your next guest will help. Please welcome from Long Beach, California, by way of Compton, California, Wham Bam in the house. What up, man?
Oh, yeah, we back in this motherfucker, man. Come on now. Pete, Jimmy the bag. Come on now. We in this motherfucker.
Fun as hell. It's just there's so much capping information around. I can't even enjoy it. I'm like overwhelmed by all the freaking opinions, the lines, and everything. It's all over the place. Great to see you, Trot Wam.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love today's card too. It's just so fitting for us to have this type of card. Me to have these type of breakdowns today. It's gonna be amazing, man. I'm actually nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous. This is an important show for me. So, yeah, let's kill it today, bro. Let's kill it.
Let's get that papier. 7 p.m. Eastern, we get started, and we've already been given looks from our Dan Kelly. But we get started here at 7 p.m. and I will discuss the spots where Dan is involved because he is involved here. In this game right here, he says if the Cavs are winning by less than 6 at halftime, take the second half Cavs team total under. There we go. Cavs team total under here. Little Seal says that he's so high, it took him time to realize how the guy in the bottom left isn't moving. Okay. All right, Little Seal. I don't know if that's going to help your captain today. More than 6. Did I say less than 6? Sorry. If the Cavs are winning by over 6 at halftime. Shake my head there. Okay, let's get to work. Miami Heat at Cleveland Cavaliers is our first game on the docket. Let's take a look at action. And this is the only thing that I've bet. This is the only game that I have already bet here in from all sports. Cavs open up at -5. They're now -4.5. This total opened up at 210.5. It's now at 211. And I bet the under 211.5. Let's see what it is at Bet365. It's down to 210.5. Good. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. And we have 10,368 tickets in, 55% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Cavs. Then you have 13% of the tickets on the under, but 43% of the cash. I like that. Miami Heat 28-23, 11-14 on the road. Cavs 31-21, 21-5 at home at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. Miami 3-2, playing at a pace over their past 5 games, 96.9 possessions a game. Cleveland 3-2, playing at a pace of 94.1 possessions a game. This is 2 teams with slow, low pace. Miami had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 122-117 win at Charlotte on Sunday. This is the second best defensive team in the league playing against the best defensive team in the league with the opponent's points per game. And Miami let Charlotte do whatever they wanted against them. So I expect a much improved defensive performance from the Miami Heat. Butler went for 28-7, 11-14 shooting, a Hero 24, Bam 17. So this team allows 108.4 points per game, and they let the Charlotte Hornets stomp on them. I just don't see that happening in back-to-back games. Cleveland, 106.9 points per game. They bounced back from their loss at Oklahoma City by winning 122-99 at home over an undermanned Clipper squad on Sunday. Donovan Mitchell was back. He played 20 minutes, 11 points, and he has played only 2 of the last 7 games. I think this is going to be a tough game. I really do, against 2 teams that will likely meet again in the playoffs when there's more at stake, or could meet again in the playoffs when there's more at stake. This is the only bet I had the confidence of making before I got here. Pete, are you touching the Heat Cavs game?
No, I'm not. I guess I was, I guess I was leaning Miami just because it is likely to be a low scoring game. You're probably right about the under, and I hope you cash. I'm not on it. I just couldn't make myself pull the trigger on it. It's just too obvious. But a lot of times those obvious plays win, and I do bet the plays that seem too obvious in sports that I cap well, but not in the NBA. Hope you cash. I was leaning Miami, but no bet for me as of right now.
See, and we have lots of people like Let's Dance says, how does this game not go under? I hear that, but I also know how many cappers are seeing the amount of points are scored in these NBA games. And so it did not surprise me one bit that 87% of tickets were on the over. Because this is a really low total at first glance. Yeah. So, but I hear what you're saying. Let's bring in our guy, Wham Bam in the house. Game number 1. Wham Bam, take it away.
All right, let's full disclaimer. My son right now is cutting the fuck up. I am not gonna lie, he is cutting the hell up. But at that same time, I'm kind of like Pete though, bro. I don't really feel like I want to put any money on this game. Now we do know that Jimmy and Vincent, who were questionable, they are playing though, so they are going to play in this game. So the defense definitely is going to be there. I'm kind of skeptical. Darius Garland, he was going over his 21.5 points. That's kind of the way I wanted to bet. 6 of the last 8 times. It's just something I don't want to put my money on today. So I'm probably gonna be like Dutch here, you know.
Fuck this basketball game. Back with it.
That's where I'm gonna go.
Well, I like the under, and I'm going to move on the under. We did just lose Wham Bam. I'm sure he'll be back here shortly. You are staying off this spot. Our guy, Razor Sharp Picks, says this is a do damage spot today. Cavs first quarter, Cavs first half, Cavs full game. Lucky lefty on the Cavs first quarter. That's wild. Do damage spot here, just because of how bad the Heat looked on Sunday. What do you think of Razor Sharp Picks' confidence here on the Cavaliers?
Yeah, I really have not. I mean, it makes sense. If you know, based on the money, I really don't know. I have no read on this game. Miami obviously has been slumping ATS wise, but are they likely to bounce back here? I was leaning Miami, but I just have no play on this one.
Well, I tell you what, it's a confidence builder for me when I have a bet, and our man Dan Kelly says, love that under JTB. Well, you know what, Dan? I love that you're giving me added confidence on this. All right, let's roll on to game 2, though. But our guy, Lucky Lefty, says Tata is sick, but she still said hello to the family. I hope she feels better soon. We love her at Loshak in the back. Tata Booker, great capper, and her and Lucky Lefty, maybe they might be the best capping couple in the business here. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Lakers 23-28, 10-16 on the road at the New York Knicks 27-24, 12-13 at home. Madison Square Garden. New York over the past 5. Each team playing at 2 wins and 3 losses. Lakers 100.11 possessions a game. They've slowed it down quite a bit. They've slowed down their pace. It was as high as 105 possessions a game. The Knicks are playing very slowly right now. 2-3, 94.63 possessions a game. And Lucky Lefty says she wins more. Jimmy, she's very good, man. She's good, and I love it, and I respect you guys, man. You guys got to come down to Pubapalooza and hang with us. Lakers, Knicks. Let's take a look at the line history. Pete, move over here for Lakers, Knicks. This opened up with the Knicks at -2.5. They're now -2. Total-wise, it's opened up at 235, dropped all the way down to 231, and that's a pinnacle opener because Pete told us that the overnight was 237.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, what did you say the pinnacle opener was?
235.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw Heritage. Is that really where Pinnacle opened? Then they might have.
That was at 7:17 this morning.
Okay, all right. Oh, this morning. Oh, yeah.
There was no overnight at Pinnacle for this one, and I guess because of the injuries, or not the injuries, but the back-to-back situation for the Lakers. And LeBron always 13,960 tickets in, 42% of tickets, and 85% of the cash on the Los Angeles Lakers. 40% of tickets, 76% of cash on the over. Rocco Rogers says Knicks first half, we back. Lucky Lefty on the first half over. Or under, excuse me. Billy Friedrichs on the Knicks first half. Mike M says Knicks 17-3 against spread. All that Lakers money coming in, and the line moved to the Knicks. Wow. Harold Williams says Lakers money line plus 118. LeBron officially in. Of course, he's in Madison Square Garden. Lakers are on the second half of back-to-back after losing their second straight game, 121-104 Brooklyn on Monday. James sat out, but he will be back here. He sat out with the left foot ankle injury, and he's playing very, very well statistically. Almost career highs, 30.2 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game. And Anthony Davis, right foot maintenance, so he should be back here as well. Russell Westbrook just passed Gary Payton for 10th in the all-time assist list. Knicks had their 2-game winning streak snapped, a 122-115 loss at Brooklyn Saturday. A huge rest advantage. That's their 5th loss in 7 games. They've given up at least 115 points in 6 of those 7 games. They are a good perimeter team defensively. You know, they allow opponents to shoot 34.9%, but the Knicks allowed the Nets to shoot 55%. Nets went 22 of 40 from long distance on Saturday. I get why you like the under, and I get why you can't probably move on it now, even though you've already bet it, I believe, at 237.5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm late to the party on the under, and I'm a little surprised that the sharp big bets are coming in on the Lakers. This is a tricky one. Do you have any thoughts here? Take it away.
Well, yeah. So I like the under on the overnight line. Nothing crazy. If I'd bet it and then it was like 240.5 in the morning, I'd be like, all right, yet another bad call I made in the NBA. But I like the under here. The Knicks, I think, are playing a little bit better defensively, and I think they're going to want to step up on D in this one. And I would also be leaning first half under as well. I do see that Dan Kelly likes Lakers first half team total under. And so I don't think I'll give the full game under anymore, but I think I will make the first half under an official pick. I think I will do that. I do think it'll be a bit of an intense game to start, and I do think that the Knicks are going to be more focused on their defensive identity here, certainly at least to start. I mean, who knows where this – it looks like this total is headed up again, but I guess that's because of confirmation about LeBron. So let me see what we can get here. I'll take first half under 114.5 minus 115. That's a line of Pinnacle.
Available right now at Pinnacle. First half under 114.5 at minus 115. Yeah, I guess I don't want to be that late to the party, which is where I am right now on the under, but that was the look. That was definitely the look. Let's just go over the totals here. I just want to see what Bet 365 did with this total. They opened it at 237.5 last night at 514, now at 232. But you're right, it went all the way down to 230 at 840 this morning, and then it got back up. It got back up to 233 at 11:35.
Yeah,
from there. All right, I'm gonna have to stay off. Dan Kelly says this is the kind of game where big bets could be stupid money. A lot of big shots going into this game, and have to tell everyone about the big bet they got on it.
Absolutely,
there's truth there.
Oh man. I didn't quite understand. Once again, I got reminded about stupid money hanging out at Atlantic City. Man, a lot of dumb guys there with a lot of money. I saw them.
Yeah, it's it's part of the fun here.
Yeah, right. They were having a great time. They're having more fun than me. I mean, I'm not insulting them. I'm complimenting them. I'm jealous of them.
That is Lakers, Knicks, Pete's on the first half. Under 114.5 at minus 115. Let's move on to game 2, 8 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles.
It's better to be rich, dumb, and happy than smart, broke, and unhappy.
I think you're right.
Hell yeah.
Right. Clippers 28-25, 14-14 on the road. The Bulls 23-26, 13-10 at home. Speaking of Dan Kelly, he's already given us first half Chicago money line at plus 115, and he was on the Lakers team total under 56.5. First half team total under 56.5. He also has a PGA top 20 parlay. Mav McNeely and Seamus Power at plus 237 each to get in the top 20. Clippers, Bulls, United Center, Chicago, Illinois. Clippers are 4-1 over their past 5, playing at the pace of 94.90 possessions a game, while the Bulls are 3-2, playing at the pace of 101.80 possessions a game. Let's go into the line history here for the Bulls game. We have these Chicago Bulls opening up at plus 2.5. They're now at plus 3. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 230.5. It's all the way down to 226. We get into the cash flow for this one. We have our first of 2 teams that have been given full line value at Sports Insights. That is the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls have full line value, 27% of the tickets and 73% of the cash on them, but we've seen a half-point move over to the Clippers. So the books don't seem too concerned about the Bulls' money coming in. 25% of the tickets and 77% cash on the under. Big bets coming on the under. Wow. So that explains the move towards the under. Clippers had their 5-game winning streak snapped in a 122-99 loss at Cleveland on Sunday. They played without Kawhi, without Paul George, without Reggie Jackson. All 3 had played in Saturday's game, and all 3 are going to be back here tonight. They're 1-1 on the 6-game road trip. And Kawhi, 9 games straight, shooting at least 50% from the field on at least 10 attempts, 12 of 20 against Atlanta. That's wild. No Clipper players reached 10 games in that stat since Blake Griffin in November 2013. Bulls snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 128-109 victory to Orlando on Saturday. DeRozan and Levine go for 32 each. DeRozan has scored at least 25 in 5 straight since returning from the quad strain. Vooch went for 26 and 13. He's now 6th in the league with 28 double-doubles. And this is the beginning of a 4-game homestand for Chicago. They won 5 of 6 at home. This is a big, big homestand. And if the market wasn't moving towards the Clippers with all this big bets on the Bulls, I'd be on the Bulls right now. But I'm a little nervous with the books kind of opening their arms up to this Bulls money. Pete, what do you think here? Clippers, Bulls?
Well, I wanted to hear what you guys had to say about it. Obviously, the Clippers are in an upswing right now, getting healthy and playing pretty well. And after getting blown out, last game, which was a bad spot, and the Bulls off of what they did, I was thinking Clippers early, maybe first half or first quarter. But then we have Dan Kelly here posting that he likes the Bulls first half money line at plus 115. So I think that's probably enough to take me completely off of it, if not go on the other side. My sense was just that the Clippers are a team that are playing better, getting healthier, coming off a blowout loss, and that they would come in here and play well at least early, but that might be totally wrong.
Tone is on the Clippers money line first quarter. He thinks they're going to come in and take care of business.
That's what I was thinking. First quarter. I guess I could take first quarter and then Bulls come back second quarter, and then Dan Kelly catches his money line.
Leal said it's on DeRozan to go for 25 plus and Vooch for 3.5 assists. Parlay for him. Mike says 13 last 14 Clipper road games versus East have gone over the number. Shogun Soup says Chicago will Chicago. Astute Chaos says definitely like the over because Chicago hasn't played defense, but the Clippers could shoot blanks. Saturated says as a Bulls fan, I can't see the Bulls winning this if both Paul George and Kawhi suit up. Richard's on the over 226 in this spot. Interesting. Very interesting. I find it, I guess, it should be, they just don't seem to get in any kind of rhythm player personnel wise. As soon as they get the 5-game winning streak, they have a back. Now they don't have a back-to-back here for at least 3 weeks or a month. They don't have a back-to-back for a while. So maybe we see the Clippers get into a rhythm now. Shallow and Jay says, Clips are nothing. I tell you, I would be on the Bulls right now if the market was moving towards them, but it's not. A Lucky Lefty says full game over 226. Definitely. I'm not moving on this basketball game. Are you, Pete?
You know what? Yeah, because if it doesn't win, I will be annoyed at myself for not having given it. I'll take the Clippers first quarter money line minus 127. What the hell? Clippers first quarter money line minus 127.
Clippers first quarter money line minus 127 for
that's Pinnacle. Yeah.
Pistol Pete Loshak. So you're on the same spot as Tone.
Yeah.
So you got Tone Miggins. That's a good place to be. That's a really good place to be. Let's bring on our expert is back in action with us. Wham Bam.
Wow.
Wham Bam. Clippers, Bulls. What do you think here?
So on this game with the Clippers, it's a tough game to me just because I know I'm going to get Paul George. I know I'm going to get Kawhi Leonard here. The interesting part is who's going to run point guard for the Clippers. It's not going to be a point guard like they normally don't because I think Reggie Jackson is already ruled out if he's not. I think he's questionable right now, but it seems like they're going to take that Achilles soreness serious there. So I don't expect Reggie Jackson to be out there. John Wall, who's already been out with a abdominal, who's going to be their point guard here? I think they may be able to, have a little success on the guard play. So, AO, and then along with the other kid, Kobe, I kind of think their props are going to be good here, but as far as the side, though, I can only go towards the Bulls. I ain't gonna lie. I think only towards the Bulls and Vucevic. I think Vucevic is going to continue the ball, and he's going to continue to do his thing. You see what I'm saying? This is. I don't think I could be able to do it, bro. I don't think I could. My boy going crazy on me right now. I get him cool, and then he start pulling out shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but I would say this though. In this game, this is one of the games that's a wobbler for me. I didn't put anything official on here, so I kind of want to talk this one out with a lot of people here. I think I heard Pete say that he likes the first quarter with the Clippers. Is that what I heard there?
Yeah.
So I kind of see that. I can see that there. I can see that happening, but I want to go back to the well with Vucevic. I think he takes advantage there, and I think the point guards on the other side with the Bulls, they may have a good chance to have some success today. So that's the only thing I was thinking. But in the last game with the Lakers, I mean, I didn't get to say anything, but I mean, if I tweeted it out, I did tweet it out earlier. I got the Lakers at plus 125. It was still available there. Obviously, the news happened right after that. Scott Foster is going to be reffing this game. So not only did LeBron bitch, he got the main guy to come back to. Now, is this a slap on the wrist with the NBA? We're gonna bring Scott Foster, or is this okay, LeBron? We're sorry. We respect you. You're gonna have the NBA title, the scoring title. We're gonna bring in Scott Foster, referee you here through usher you into the Garden today.
Yeah.
It's number 48, Scotty Shotgun Foster. That's my boy. I ain't gonna lie, that's my guy. And I like the Lakers here, so I took the Lakers money line there. I think LeBron and AD, they may be spoon feeding Russ today. Russ is supposed to get in the top 10 assists. They're going to be keeping out on a lookout on that, along with LeBron scoring here. So I think the Lakers take advantage there. Obviously, it's a back-to-back, but not having your main guys coming into this game, it's going to be a little bit more different. And I do agree with any under in this game for sure. I think it's going to be a lot of defense played in this game. It's going to be for sure locked in. But I'm on the Lakers money line with that. And then, that's pretty much it. I didn't have nothing in Cleveland game.
All right, so Wham got the plus 125. He tweeted it out on the Lakers here. Pete's on that first half under 114.5. Pete's on the Clippers first quarter at minus 127. We have 2 games left here on the NBA card. Let's move into the next one. 8 p.m. Eastern. Charlotte Hornets 15-36, 8-20 on the road at the Milwaukee Bucks 33-17, 20-5 at home. Pfizer form. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Charlotte 3-2 over their past 5, playing at a pace of 103.10 possessions a game fast. Milwaukee playing even faster, 4-1, 105.50 possessions a game. We've talked about a lot of teams playing slowly. Here are 2 teams playing very fast. Let's take a look at the line history here for Hornets Bucks. We have Milwaukee opening up at minus 12. They're now minus 11. Total wise, it's open at 239. It shot up to 243.5. It was 244.5. I thought it was. I guess it wasn't. I guess it was 243.5. It's now at 244 at Bet365. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We talked about the Bulls being given full line value from Sports Insights. No other team's given any line value except for the Hornets, who also have full line value at this number. And with their, injury issues calming, 10,368 tickets in, 44% of the tickets, but just 31% of the cash on the Hornets. Then 27% of tickets and 55% of cash on the over. So big bets have come in on the over. Joe Yurkovich, play of the day is Bucks team total under 128.5. This is way too high, and they have been scoring. They haven't. I'm not sure what the second sentence is exactly, but he says way too high. Bucks team total under 128.5. Billy Friedrich is on Milwaukee first half. Charlotte comes in off their second straight win, an impressive 122-117 home victory over Miami on Sunday. All 5 starters scored in double figures. Scary Terry went for 31. PJ Washington went for 27. Gordon Hayward scored 20. And that's his highest output since November 20th for Gordon Hayward, dealing with the fractured shoulder, the hamstring injury. Bucks coming off their 4th straight win, 135-110 at home over the Pelicans on Sunday. They've hit 130 points 5 times in their last 7 games. Giannis put in 50. He's averaging 38.3 points per game over his past 4. The guy's just rolling right now. Bobby Portis out with the MCL strain. Start with Pistol Pete Loshak. Any thoughts or feelings here on Hornets Bucks?
I didn't pull the trigger on it. My first thought was on the overnight line. Is maybe Charlotte underrated right now that they're healthy. And I thought Charlotte plus 12 was obviously the way to go. But then I was like, maybe there's some kind of spot here that makes them look like they have value, but they actually don't, going up against a team like Milwaukee, who has been covering over the past 2 or 3 weeks or so. So I didn't pull the trigger on it. I should have. I was leaning Charlotte on the overnight, but I didn't pull the trigger on it. And
Mike M says Bucks in a 1-10 against the spread spot. 69% cash is on the Bucks, but line looks frozen. That's a lot of money to be on the Bucks for it not to really be moving in their direction. Let's see what.
And I was also thinking about over, as you said, but now it's moved up, so looks like I missed the boat on everything.
56% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the Bucks, and Pinnacle's moved it from 12 to 11. What do you think, Wham Bam? Take it away, Hornets Bucks. Oh, you're muted, my guy.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Y'all can hear me good now?
Yeah.
Okay. I could barely hear you guys, but I heard a little bit. I think you were saying, Pete, that you like the under in this game with Charlotte, team total under?
No, I said that on the overnight, I thought they were undervalued or underrated, but I didn't pull the trigger on it. And then I was like, well, maybe it's a spot that I just am not aware of or not seeing that makes them look like they're a good bet, but they're not,
Okay, cool. I'm on the Bucks, man. I mean, I think I agree with the line movement, obviously. I'm on the Bucks first half and full game. I just think that what I've been fading the Hornets in the first half consistently. I mean, as bad as the people, I think some people got some great stats here. Mike M with the Bucks, 1 in 10 ATS, 69% cash on the Bucks. I understand that look there, but the Hornets been so bad in the first half, bro. They've been at bottom, the dead last net rating team in the first half for the past 2 weeks, bro. I've been cashing against them. They haven't been able to cover in the first half. They did cover and win the last game. So obviously you can't find them maybe, in a little bit more in the live spot after the second half or something around there. You may be able to get that, but I just think early and often maybe, you know what I'm saying, for sure. I think the Bucks has already shown us that they're serious, bro. Like, they're a lot more serious than the Sixers. They're a lot more serious than, the Bulls. They're more serious than the Heat. They're more serious than like a lot of these teams in the East right now. Obviously, you can't really say too much about Brooklyn because, KD, but I think the Bucks are clearly the best team in the East, and they continue to show that. And I love the addition of Ingles. People really ain't really speaking on that too much. Like, I love that they have all the shooters there. They got the camaraderie. They doing things on the off the court that kind of makes sense. It seems just real championship level. So against a team that the Hornets, bro, they might be looking to get Victor Wembanyama with LaMelo. You can't really trust them as far as being competitive, and I think that they're going to be outsmashed in this game. So I like the trifecta spot with the Bucks. I haven't took the first quarter yet. I know a lot of people that do like that, so I agree with you guys there. But I'm on the first half. He said, well, I'm attacking the Sixers because you always attack the Lakers. So, today I feel good. We got our players playing today. I can pump my chest out. We got Scott Foster coming to save the day for LeBron. Come on, man. I can talk a little shit today, Razor. Calm down. But no, for the most part, my son's chilling now. I gave him the tablet. Like, forget it. Forget it. But no, for sure, I believe that the Bucks is going to hold it down today. That's for sure. And I just think that this Hornets team, man, like, they got LaMelo, they got players there, and I ain't gonna lie, the Bucks can fold up. So I think I may have to take that first quarter because it may fall flat in the second half. I think that's the most I'm scared is the second half full spread at 11. So, but for the most part, I think the full game, first quarter and first half and full game is in play here with the Bucks trifecta, and that's what we rocking with.
So did you want to add the first quarter to your official action?
Yeah, you can add that to me because I'm gonna end up playing that.
Wow. Okay, so first quarter for the Bucks, best we can get to -4 at -105. Okay. So you have first quarter -4 -105, first half -6.5 -103, full game -11 -103. What do you think, Pistol Pete?
I'm just going to pass. It does feel like it's going to be one of those like 150-point first halves, but I would love to take it over. I'd love to take the first half over. How is Charlotte offensively right now? They're kind of rolling, right? They might not. They'll put up some points. They might not play any. What?
They playing a lot better for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the LaMelo coming back and everything. They are playing a lot better offensively here. So, and I expect the Bucks to have whatever they want on offense.
Right. They're not going to play any defense, these Hornets, right? I mean,
the Bucks are historically known as having a bad 3-point defense here. So, it's just coming from 3 with Rozier and Ball. That's going to help you for sure.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I'll take the first half over. Whatever. 121 -106. Current line at Pinnacle.
Pete is on the first half over 121 at -106.
Yeah.
Wham is on the Bucks trifecta. I am not moving on that one. Let's move on to the final game on the board here. 10 p.m. Eastern. New Orleans Pelicans 26-25, 9-16 on the road. The Denver Nuggets 34-16, 22-4 at home at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. The Pelicans have now lost 8 straight basketball games. Over their past 5, they're playing at the pace of 98.6 possessions a game. Denver 2 and 3 over their past 5, playing at the pace of 96.80 possessions a game. Let's go into the line history on this one. This one opened up, and we've already being told from Dan Kelly that he's on the Pelicans first half money line plus 175. Pelicans open up at plus 7.5 and now plus 6.5. So there's a 1 point move towards the Pelicans. This total opened up at 233.5 is now at 231.5. Go over to the cash flow in this one. 9,680 tickets in. There's sharp money on the Pelicans, boy. 50% of the tickets, 90% of the cash is on these Pelicans. 60% of tickets, 89% of cash is on the under. The book showing some, fear moving at least 1 point towards Pelicans, and they're showing some fear with the total dropping at 1.5 tonight. Billy, don't get me started there. I can't even talk about George Kittle anymore. Pelicans coming off their 8th straight loss, 135-110 in Milwaukee on Sunday. They just faced the Nuggets last Tuesday. They lost 99-98 at home. Zion hasn't played since January 2nd. He's not coming back anytime soon. CJ McCollum with the thumb injury and Brandon Ingram with the toe injury missed the loss at Milwaukee, but Ingram expected to play tonight. This will be his 3rd game out of the last 4 after he missed 29 straight with that toe injury. Nuggets coming off their 2nd straight loss, 3rd over the past 4 games, 126-119 at Philadelphia on Saturday. Michael Porter Jr. Came back. He had some family issue. I don't know exactly what happened, but fatal car crash that his brother Coben was arrested for. And I don't know enough about it to say anything about it. Porter scored 20 points in 29 minutes, and they need him. Take it away, Pistol Pete Loshak, Pelicans Nuggets. Any interest?
Not really. I mean, I was, if you gave me a free play, I guess I'd throw it on the Pelicans, but they're just, losing game in and game out. Although Dan Kelly liking the I was thinking Pelicans early, and now seeing Dan Kelly on the money line for Pels at plus 175 is tempting. But very tempting. But I don't know if I can pull the trigger on it, but it's tempting. That's what I was thinking. Pelicans early, for sure. Let's
hear what Wham Bam has to say about it. You're muted, my man.
I forgot I was muted.
All good.
I'm looking at the stuff like I'm not. No, I am, bro. But yeah, no, I appreciate you. And I'm very scared now because I was thinking how I believe Charlene J in the chat said Denver is a first quarter team. I mean, they are a first quarter team, especially when they're at the house. But knowing that, my gosh, Dan is like in the first quarter with the Pelicans, and then Pete's saying that he likes it. I'm not coming here telling you guys that I like the Denver first quarter after that.
Dan likes first half. First half.
Okay. Yeah. But even then, like that's still enough. That's too early enough for me. You know what I'm saying? It's too early enough for me for him to like them. I kind of just want to stay away, honestly. And this is a game that I didn't bet on yet. But here, it's just like my natural reaction is to take them first quarter. And then that's just how I look at it. But as far as the Pelicans, like you said, Pete, they've been losing, man. Like they really been losing. Maybe that's just Brandon Ingram, has to come back and get back into form because he hasn't had a statement game of returning yet. So, not having Zion is going to be interesting as well. But, I mean, does Zion plays soon? They already gave him the starting role, or is he going to be one of those guys that, allow somebody else to become a starter now because, he's not going to play, or what's going to happen there? Because we're getting really close to the All-Star game. We're going to have to see him come back and return like some of these other kids are coming back. So I expect him to play sooner or later. Is he going to play today, which is going to be interesting, if they pull some bullshit, some NBA fuckery, and all of a sudden now he's playing. But I don't think so. I think he's going to get ramped up. We're going to know more about the practices and stuff like that. But I like the Denver here. I'm not going to lie, but after hearing you guys saying it, I'm not touching it at all, especially since I haven't bet it yet.
First game back off of a road trip, which I can understand the idea that they start slowly in the first half. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It kind of makes me would rather take that first quarter. Jamal Murray listed on the injury report, although we expect him to be in the lineup. I can understand the idea to back the Pelicans here. How'd they look bad at Milwaukee on Sunday? So bad. I'm hesitant, but I get it. I really get it. And then we got great stats, as always, from the chat. This chat's just so strong. Mike M saying Nuggets are 6-0 first quarter and first half versus Pelicanos, but those are money line spots. Stu Chaos, first half over 121. He's parlaying that with Denver first half over 113.5. So that's getting a plus 284 then. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
What about under? The Pelicans don't really score, do they?
Not with this lineup.
Right.
No.
Yeah. I mean, even CJ's been struggling too. Like, the main guy, it's tough.
Yeah, you can add that one on as well for me, Jimmy the Bag. Pelicans Nuggets under 231.5 minus 108. I like that enough to take it.
I kind of do as well.
Yeah.
Under 231.5 minus 108.
Yeah.
I kind of do as well. But God, I'm looking at the games. Both teams just are coming off 145-point basketball games, which I can imagine the yin-yang effect being in place here. Denver 8-0 to the under spot versus West. He says, Mike, says, I think I like it too. I think I like it. Clearly, that's where the sharp money is, and the book's moving back. I wish I could take the Pelicans early, but I guess I won't. What would the Pelicans' first quarter be here? Let me just quickly check this out. First quarter, if I wanted them, 2.5. I kind of like it. But I think I'm going to stick with the under. So Pete has made that official. I'm going to tail that. Wham, anything official for you for Pelicanos Nuggets?
Nah, I'm gonna just keep it with the Bucks trifecta. Then if I do like something in this game, I will tweet it out later on today. But for right now, we're gonna take the Bucks trifecta Lakers money line as official place for me.
All right.
Jurkovic likes the under. He got 234.5 last night. Very nice.
Yeah, very, very nice. Very, very
I like
nice. Okay. Yeah, it makes it, whenever I see that, whenever I have a friend who's got a better line than me, it just makes me want to stay off. But I find that when I do that, I'm often leaving money on the table. Under 211.5 is the only bet I made before the show started, and that was with Heat Cavs. It's down to 210.5. Nice. I really like it. Pete's on the first half under 114.5 in Lakers Knicks. Now he betted on the overline the full game at 237. That's at 232.5 right now. Got all the way down to 230. Wham is on the Lakers plus 125. Pete is on the Clippers first quarter at minus 127, rolling with Tone Miggins on that look. Then Pete's on the first half over 121 in Charlotte, Milwaukee, and Wham has the trifecta in place. First quarter minus 4, first half minus 6, full game minus 11. Then Pete is on the under 231.5 in New Orleans, Denver, and I'm going to join him on that.
I have the first half under in the Knicks game, not full game, right?
You have the first half under in the
just want to make sure that
game?
The Knicks game.
You have the first half under 114.5. Yeah,
right. Okay, want to make sure. Okay.
Dan says he's only seeing twos. There's a 2.5. I'm using Pinnacle, so there's a 2.5 at Pinnacle, and you're right. That is the only 2.5 on the board right now. Is at Pinnacle 2.5 minus 106. All the other books are twos, and even those like a bookmaker and BetChris are juiced to Denver. So you're right, Dan. That's the only one available at Pinnacle right now. All right. There we go. Nasty Nate and Jose Bouquet going to be getting tattoos, Boston Red Sox tattoos at Pubapalooza. They're talking about that here in the chat. Not Flush on says Greek Freak were up by 20 the other night, and he still looked like he wanted to smash someone. Smash. We use a different term for smash these days. But respect all along. Nice to be back in action with you, Wham Bam. I have missed you, my friend. I have missed you. And we have I know exactly the graphic that we've been working on for you. We're so close to finishing, and I know exactly how I want to finish it. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it. I'm not sure if I've seen it or not.
Well, this is not it. This is just a first, and I know exactly where we're going here. Okay. So this is not it yet, but
this is the pre-draft. This is the pre-draft.
Yes, this is the pre-draft. Let me show you it here. Is it still? I can't find it. Oh, let's see what Jose says. Jose's.
Yo, that's hella sexy right there. I go lie.
It's just started. We're
That's
moving
kind
on.
of crazy.
That's just a little where you'll see the final draft here in a little bit for Wham Bam, but we're working on it.
Shout out to y'all, bro. Appreciate that.
We love you, man. We love you. Well, thank you for sharing your hard work and insights with us. When are you going to be on NBA Pub Hub this week?
Yeah, I'll be back on there Monday or whenever, someone needs to be filled in there. But then from the most part, I'll be back here again on Tuesday, bro. You already know, right here with Loshak and hopefully with Jimmy as well. We keep it going, man. We're going to have fun, bro.
I love it. I love it. Great stuff.
Damn, how about LeBron James kind of like a baby back bitch against the Celtics? That's what he does. Celtics are the ball, still win.
All right. We lost them both. Jose did not want a reply there. Great to be back in action with you, Pistol Pete Loshak. Let's review all action today. I'm going to be moving on the Hurricanes -1. I'm going to be on the under 6.5 in Washington, Columbus. Pete is on the Columbus Blue Jackets at +181. I'm going to be on the under 6.5 in Ottawa, Montreal. Pete moved on the first period under 1.5 at +130. I really like that look. We'll go over that here right now. Lee, we just did the basketball review, or NBA review. So let's do the NCAA basketball review in college. Cavs on Clemson first half -2.5. Oh, and we closed the show on the Parlay Angel birthday pick.
Yeah, that's what I've been stressing about for the past 3 minutes, Jim. Go ahead.
Cab is on Miami first half -2. Pete's on Virginia Tech full game +4, and I'm on the under 142.5. Wake Forest Duke, no action. And yes, we did have a look, Lee. Peter Loshak is on Arkansas first half team total under 33.5, and I'm on the full game under. So yes, we have a look. St. Louis Fordham, no action. Kansas State, Kansas, no action. Pete is on TCU first half team total under 34, and I have the full game under. Well, I haven't get yet. I'll bet it right when the show's over. Cab is on Indiana first half +1.5 -110. Taint play of the day is Northwestern Iowa under 149.5. Then San Diego State, Nevada, no action. Cab added Kentucky first half -4, and Pete added Marist +10.5 at -108. And it is now time for what at one point was probably the most important part of our show when we were in Costa Rica because of his unbelievable ROI. Well, Pete Loshak, Parlangel's birthday pick. Take it away.
Man, it's just whenever I do the birthday pick, it's just a slap in the face because then I review every pick that I've made and I don't like any of them. It's just like, oh my God. I think I've made like 10 picks here. I think I'm looking at like maybe 1 and 9 today, something like that. Who knows? Who the hell knows? Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I would love to just give the Pelicans Denver under, but it's just these friggin' NBA unders and like Denver just, you never know when they're going to stop playing defense and the game's just soar over. I don't know. All right. I think I'm, and then, gosh. All right. I think I'm going to just take, let me see. The NHL ones are tough. It turns out that I forgot there's a goalie announcement, Jim, for Washington. Does that change things for you? It's not Kemper. It's the other guy.
I wouldn't mind, speaking of Charlie Lindgren, I wouldn't mind, why don't we just very, very, very quickly just go over his last 5-10 games, at least last 5 games, or I wouldn't mind because he's been playing well, but I just need to see it in front of me how well he's been playing. So
yeah,
he has lost 4 straight games, and in those games though, he allowed 9 goals against in the 4 games. So, and they don't count because he's came in because Kemper has been so bad. So he hasn't actually started the game since the 17th of January. He came in for Kemper against Vegas, and he came in for Kemper against the Leafs. So, of the games he's starting, he was looking really well. This is a guy who's earned this opportunity at 29 years old to be in the NHL. So if we go to his last full games, allowed 3 goals against Minnesota, 3 goals against Nashville, 2 goals against Montreal, 1 goal against Winnipeg, 3 goals against Detroit, 2 against the Leafs, 2 against Dallas. He has not allowed more than 3 goals in a hockey game since November 26th.
Yeah, so that means that my Columbus play is probably scotched, right?
No, I don't think that is necessarily
the case.
No, I don't. I mean, I think both Kemper and Lindgren, and now Kemper has not been as good of late. but they've both been giving their team good goaltending throughout the season. So, I mean, if you look at the year-long stats, Kemper has better year-long stats than Lindgren. If you look at what Lindgren's been doing lately, he's been better than Kemper. But how much better than Kemper has he been? He hasn't started a game since the 17th, so he hasn't started a game in 2 weeks. So, do you want to pull it?
No. I'm just thinking about it because I saw that news came in. All right, I got to make a decision. I really don't like any of my friggin' picks today. Unfriggin' believable. How did this happen? And I don't want to give a first half team total under because a lot of books don't have that. So and I don't want to give the Ottawa pick because that's just so iffy. All right, you know what I might do? I think I'm just going to give. I think that I'm just going to give. Let me see. You know what? I'll just give Virginia Tech. What the hell? Virginia Tech, I think it's going to be a close game. Hopefully it won't, lose by 1 or 2 points or something like that. But I'm going to I'll give them Virginia Tech. +4 -116. Hopefully it cashes. Happy birthday, Parlay Angel. Be careful with those parlays. Do them recreationally for tiny amounts.
Parlangel. Let's just see if that is still exactly where it was at the 4 -116. I'd like to just check, and then we'll put a bow on this show.
It looks like you just had sex, by the way, with your hair. It looks like you're having stress over there.
Oy, gosh.
I have a thing to end the show when you guys are done as well.
Wow, that has moved. That's been a big one. We can get you +4 -105 available right now. We already locked you in, but Pinnacle's moved that a full half point, towards Virginia Tech. So now Virginia Tech +3.5 is -116.
Okay,
that's a good sign. Now 5 dimes still hanging the 4, but that's a good sign, I think, for your look. That's a good sign for.
We'll see where it closes, Jim. We'll see where it closes.
All right, there you have it. Huge week ahead for us here at Pub Sports Radio. There's not Gridiron Gamblers tonight, but we are going to be announcing an NFL Pub Hub Super Bowl edition. We're waiting for all of the player props to be out, and then we're going to let everybody know about that. This Saturday, a day at the races, full day at the races, and I can't wait for it, man. And after the huge score on Sunday, I locked and loaded with no concerns.
Should we just call you Mr. 8 for 8?
That was pretty nice, man. It was pretty nice doing that. And I know a bunch of my friends were with me and tailing a bunch of the stuff. So it was just felt real good to catch. And they were easy catchers, man. No stress.
Mr. 8 for 8. Yeah. That's what we call you, the 8 for 8 kid.
Yeah, it felt good, man. It felt good. So that is the week ahead for specialty shows. And it's so nice to be back in action with Pistol P. Loshak on Tuesdays. Pete, any last words for the Capper supporting the show?
Bet with your head, not over it. Hell yeah. I'm just saying that now because I'm looking at all my picks on today's card, and I'm very glad that I did that with my 10 picks. I bet with my head, not over it, with all 10 picks of my bets on today's card because I feel nervous about all of them. But even if you feel good about all of them, you should still always bet with your head and not over it.
I love it, Pete. Nice to be back with you on Tuesdays. Jose, do you want to leche us into the future, my friend?
Sure. I'll give you 2 things real quick. One, a little breaking news. Chad Green sides with the Blue Jays. More bullpen depth for the Blue Jays. I like the Blue Jays ever more every day. We're back on that bandwagon, whatever. But secondly, I officially I opened up my old account with my local again. I officially put in my I was plus 350. Unfortunately, we got better odds earlier in the year, like plus 420, whatever it was. But plus 350, Japan to win the Baseball World Classic.
Yeah, he gave it out at 425 earlier.
That's been my squad for a while now. I can tell you one nice reason why I picked Japan is because they're all in. Like the Japanese league, they're all in. They care about this stuff. Major League Baseball wants to 2-finger fuck the World Baseball Classic and ruin it by teams being a little pissed off that the players are playing whatever. Example, like the Dominican Republic has 18 guys that are currently trying to negotiate with their baseball team to try to play. So rosters aren't going to be announced for a little bit. I think it's like 2 weeks, 12 days, something like that. I think Sharpie put out there until Baseball World Classic pitchers and catchers report. So we'll see where that goes. But you're not going to see any guys in Japan really getting pulled out. Like, first of all, Shohei Ohtani is playing because he calls his own shots. Second of all, it's really not made up of many MLBers, but it doesn't matter because the KBO is really good. So, yeah, Japan's my pick, and I've been riding with it, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and Jose will be there in person, as he will be at Pub-Up-Palooza. Also, don't forget opening up a new account at either MyBookie or BetOnline Pub Sports. BetOnline will match you up to $1,000, 100%, and MyBookie 50% up to $1,000. There you have it. That is our show for today. Great work, Pistol Pete. Nice to be back with you. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Richard, Billy Friedrich, Shaolin J, Real Deal Prime, Nutflush, Alan, Dan Kelly, Jay, Lee Davis, DC Capper, Billy Friedrich, Fat Wally, Dana Delp. Love you guys. Nasty Nate, Lucky Lefty, Nate Cerna, Astute Chaos, Rants.
Oh,
Thank
Pete, you want to get tattoos on San Antonio? You want to meet me and Nasty Nate are in? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I asked. But you're going, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You better be. Picking you up from the airport, Pete, remember.
All right, yeah.
I fix your Twitter too, Pete.
Okay.
All right, let's roll. I got bets to make. Let's us into the future, my man.
Get that money on Let's Bookmakers!